All right, hello. Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. For now, as we were talking about ahead of the stream, this could be it. Everything's falling apart. Wheels are falling off. I forget to do it. I lose track of one Magnus Archive video, and then all of a sudden, Steven it's like every time right before stream makes me feel bad. Makes me feel okay. It's cool. It's cool.
Hey,
So
you
anyhow,
want me to
everything's
keep up
falling
with my
apart.
contract. You got to keep up with your contract, and yeah, your contract's a little bit more work heavy.
Work this morning. I had actually work this morning. Okay, then I had to prep this whatever the fuck we're doing, and then on top of that, like I gotta okay, let me figure out when the release schedule is gonna be. Yeah, so everything's falling. I forgot how to do everything. I forgot to fix the overlay because Long's not here, and so like that's why it looks like crap. So sorry everybody who's looking at this.
Where's the cassette tape?
I had. And
that's a Magnus Archive joke for anyone who wasn't paying attention last night.
No one watched last night. It's fine. So anyhow,
I was running it. That makes sense.
The statistics bear that out.
We have data.
We have data, and we are totally interpreting it correctly.
The data is just what Jeff wrote on a piece of paper.
This could very well be the final episode of Adventures in Lollygagging, so enjoy it while you can.
Stop.
It's the wheels are falling off. I forget how to do everything. Grace is gone.
Everybody take a deep
Long quit.
breath.
We've lost Long. He's quit. Right? He's gone.
You know what we need to bring back? Motorboating. That would solve
half the
all
people
of our
on
problems.
Tuesday never want to play with us anymore. Aaron's been unplugging his internet to make it look like, oh yeah, it's the internet, and then he wants out. Everybody's quitting.
Is this Twitch version of like pretending like you're on your cell phone driving through a tunnel? Is that what that is?
That's what it sounds like.
I think so.
Wow, that's like
out
next
of town for a
level.
couple of days, guys.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyhow, well, we're playing Call of Cthulhu, I think. So
We are. Some of us are excited about that fact.
Yeah, let's take a quick
And
poll.
afraid.
Who's excited about playing?
I'm
this?
afraid, but
I am
excited.
so excited. We're
See?
all
There you go.
excited.
That's
Jeff,
you.
put your
Okay.
hand up.
80%.
I haven't
I'm
100%
excited.
of players are excited.
I don't
Guys,
get
hold on. I'm
excited
going to
about
drive
games
over to
anymore.
Jeff and Melissa.
I just get terrified.
I'll be back.
I know how
Yeah.
how
The
Yet
only
simple
time
another
I
it is.
feel
person
good
ditching
about
the stream
sessions.
live.
There you go. Right there.
You guys just watch as my face phases in behind
You know
Jeff on his green screen.
Steven, you're in.
Do I get to be the GM now?
I think
All right,
you
I'm the
do.
keeper.
I think you do.
Everyone gains 20 sand. All right, and everyone is back to full health.
No,
Okay.
I'm the keeper. This is my first time GMing. Somehow
Whoa,
Will
I already
died.
claimed it.
No, you didn't.
What?
I have seniority.
I gave you 20 sand. You kill my character.
Yeah,
I leave for like 10 seconds and everything falls apart.
I killed Will.
Ridiculous. They're at their throats. Anyhow. All right. Well, hey, what's up? How's everybody doing? I got a snort. I got a snort. It's okay. I got a snort. Someone clip that. Someone clip that.
No.
Dude, I swear.
Give me some- All right. All right. Well, anyhow, we're playing Call of Cthulhu. We're continuing our Eternalized campaign. That is technically a Trail of Cthulhu campaign that I've been sort of kind of not really, converting into 7th edition. Like there's a conversion, but it's into 6th edition. So then I have to go to 7th edition. It's just there's a lot of conversion going on. And that's crazy. So we're going to start up episode 58. 58. I think we did this with One Ring. Do we want to, at this point, take bets as to when the last episode is going to be? What that last episode number is
Didn't
going
we
to be?
already do this?
Did
I thought
we?
we
Did we?
already did like
I thought we did it for One Ring.
prices right
Could be
rules.
wrong.
Oh,
We'll see.
I have to go back
That's
to
the
my
problem.
notes.
See, everything's falling apart. I can't remember anything now. That's what Maitreyi just told me.
So,
We're just recycling bits.
so I'm going to throw out 90.
90? Huh, I can't do this for 90. Come on, man. That's like 32 more. Okay, 90 for Melissa.
I mean, Price is
Okay.
Right rules. I went horrible with that guess, but like
Fair enough.
somebody
Did say-
started
Fair
it
enough.
off.
We're about 60% through. So another 30
Sure.
episodes sounds about right. So I'll say 91.
91. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Steven
get
You
has
did that to me
89 for
last time we
sure.
did this bit, so don't give me trouble.
All right. Maitreyi?
76.
76. Okay, Maitreyi wants out. Got it. I can see. She just didn't want to go too low to make it look too obvious. It's pretty smart. It's a smart, savvy move right there. Ashley, where you at?
Let's do 88.
80. You guys are crazy.
You're really threading the needle there. It's lowest without going over.
Right? Right?
All you had to do was say 80. You get a
basically
nice
have
window.
88 and 89. You
That's
have
true.
two numbers that would work for you.
That's fine.
That's too late. It's locked in. I'm going to
It's better
go
than the
episode
other
58.
dice.
That's what I'm going to go with. Everybody roll for initiative.
I
We
feel,
don't
like,
do that in this game.
I feel like that's not a guess now. I feel like that's like
That's a promise.
it's a promise or a threat. One of the two.
Both.
I gave you the sweet summer child that was Arturo, who loved your
I
Joy Boy cat, and you let
know.
him die. You let him die. So honestly, what's the point? But seriously, what's the point of this anymore? Why are we even bothering to try to, save the world
In
or whatever the hell we're doing?
Arturo's honor, so that his death was not for naught.
That's your next
Who's
cat's
Arturo?
name.
You don't even remember your cat half the time. You're certainly not going to remember Arturo. Come on. Are you kidding?
That's not true at all.
Where
Last
is Joy
time
Boy
around,
right now?
we started with Guillermo gutting Will, which was a high point, honestly, of the session, I think. And then immediately fled into the jungle after Patrick, who had been away from camp doing his rituals of self-denial, caught sight of him, so he's fled. Chaos erupted. Porters kind of started to turn on each other because, if you recall, there's groups of porters from different expedition leaders. And then some of you decided to pursue Guillermo into the dark jungle. And during this chase, poor old Marie fumbled and slipped down a ridge, fell into a pit trap. And honestly, Melissa, you have no idea how close you were to like instant death. Like it could have gone so bad. You and Patrick and Rick, you were the three that primarily gave chase, but eventually you did give up pursuit because Guillermo just got way too far out in front, and it became increasingly clear to you all that he had planned this, as there were additional pit traps that you saw that he was using as a way to kind of navigate and run away. Back at camp, Carmelita, you tended to Will. Bev, you tried to calm some of the infighting. You also did some questioning with the porters to try to figure out what the hell's going on. You didn't really get the sense that anyone left was dishonest, but there were a handful of porters that did leave with Guillermo. Rick, when he came back, he agreed to now lead the expedition to Chichen Shoshu and Chichen Shoshu. I got it. And then the next morning, you all pressed on without Guillermo and without those extra porters. And it was an okay travel day until just before evening, I should say. Was not quite the end of the day. Light was still up. You found another one of those warning totems, sort of. And when you paused to examine it, that's when Guillermo and looks like a bunch of bandits or something like that, they had ambushed you. And they started firing from the jungle line. Arturo, dear sweet Arturo, who had bonded with Joy Boy and told Marie and Bev to stick with him, he'll keep him safe. Well, the inverse of that isn't true, as he was standing right next to Bev, and his head heroically blocked a bullet that was meant for Bev, and he died, if that was unclear. And then several others got shot, wounded, etc. Carmelita and Will, you were pinned down and you were kind of back for a bit, but eventually, as you were like dodging left and right, you guys, some grazes, some shots here and there. Eventually, you caught up, and as you all were fleeing, you eventually broke into a clearing of the jungle canopy because I think it was Bev and Patrick who at one point saw through the canopy what looked like a pyramid almost, and eventually, led by Rick Luke, you made it into this clearing where you found some ruins. And strangely, none of the bandits followed. And the other interesting fact, I think Bev caught sight of this, there were like no birds, there were no animals, or no signs of that kind of stuff. And so that's effectively where we picked up. I would like Bev.
Definitely. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Everyone just give me a sand test. You guys saw some people get shot here and there. Everyone just give me a sand test for this. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get a little music going. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
didn't think I was gonna pass that.
Makes you feel better. I didn't pass mine either.
I also failed mine.
I succeeded.
Oh, quit showing off.
Okay. if she's really sane, if you guys survive, she'll just not continue with you guys. Just throw them out.
Also,
It's like my one character in Hunter.
In Hunter, the second session, you're like, this is too
That was
much.
so funny. That was one of the most realistic reactions of a character in a game we've ever played.
Yeah, it was so
Oh, that
good.
was a wild
Tales of Myth
episode.
and Mayhem, I believe, has just given us a raid. Mark, how you doing, man? Hope Mask of Nyarlathotep went well. They were going to take on a volcano.
Oh wow.
That's what I heard when I was listening earlier. And we learned in our Monday We're in Danger that you can fist a volcano. You can just punch it, and it usually works. But they were getting like grenade launchers and stuff. Okay, so let's reset then. As the scene opens up, it is evening time. Sun's coming down. It's not fully out yet, so you still have a little bit of light left, but not that much. You are in a relatively centralized clearing. There are like around you. You can certainly see that there are like some tall grasses, some stone walls, things like that. Off to the east, there is, Bev, you would notice that pyramid that you saw through the canopy. To the south, you can see that there's like almost looks like columns. It's hard to see because you're looking at all of this from a distance, right? And you can see it looks like there's columns to the south and maybe some kind of steps to a platform. To the north, you can see a narrow pathway that seems, you're not sure if it goes off into the jungle or maybe to a recessed portion of this ruin. But one of the things you do notice about that pathway is that the jungle kind of bends around it. There's a very clear demarcation between where the brush and the trees are actually growing, and then the path itself is clear. And then off to the west, you can see more ruins. And short grasses and things. There's a couple walls that seem to almost be like parallel or a pit to one another, and a lot of like debris. You can even see some of it kind of flowing around in this light breeze. It almost looks like an old campsite of some kind. But you guys are relatively centralized. It's a very large break in the jungle. There's absolutely no trees overhead at this point, which is bizarre considering where you just came from. And there's ruins all around. Blocks, stone, etc. You can see vines gripping them very tight here and there, and toppled stone. And you all are huddled behind a few, having taken cover from your escape. And after a handful of breaths, you realize the bandits are not firing, and they are not following. What are you guys doing?
I think Will, failing his sand, is definitely shaken, and to try and just hold it together, he's going into soldier mode, and he wants to start barking out orders at the porters to like guard like behind different rocks in case they do start to follow us, and then immediately start like triaging wounded, seeing who got hurt, things like that, and who he can give first aid to.
Sure. So you bark out some orders. You can see Rick's doing the same thing, and some of the porters, especially the ones that have guns, they start to move around. They dip down beneath some of these toppled bits of stone, and you can see they point back in the direction you guys kind of broke through, sort of vaguely to the northwest, not straight north, but kind of more towards sort of a northwest veer, and that's kind of where they're pointing. A few of them are pointing their guns. Others are like taking stock and inventory of like what they lost as you guys were rushing and fleeing. What's everybody else doing?
I'd like to have my gun out and provide overwatch, kind of just scouting from where I am, not just looking out to see if I can spot anyone.
Okay, sure. And like just like towards the tree line and the jungle line, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. You can roll a spot hidden test if you want.
My pulp town gives me a bonus die for Spartans. Can I take
keen
that?
eyes? Absolutely.
Okay.
Then let's see.
So
Marie,
fail
what are you
with
up
an
to?
85.
Okay, you see like the brush moving a little bit here and there, like a canopy sway, like the fronds and such, but nothing comes through the that same kind of wall of vegetation that you all slip through.
So will you see Carmelita obviously looking outwards, but she hasn't called out anything that she seen.
Okay. you got a handful of guns, including Carmelita's, pointing in the direction you came. You got Will, who's starting to go around and bandage here and there. A couple of the porters have guns out with Carmelita, and others are taking stock of supplies. Marie, what are you up to?
I would say that Marie is very stressed out, and she's just kind of doing a head count. So she's just kind of checking to see, like, I don't know why they didn't follow us, but I'm glad they didn't follow us. And let me see who else here. And so she's, kind of head counting our group and then the porters and all of that.
Okay, so as you do a head count, there are the 5 of you. We're counting Patrick, even though Long's not here. So the 5 of you, Rick, Luke, and then you see 6 porters.
Which means we lost almost half of the porters?
You know that a few got shot along the way, and it doesn't look like everyone at the very least followed and funneled into this clearing at the same time. So I think you guys were down to around 10 after like Guillermo moved away. So you probably lost about 4 or 5.
And a couple of them could have still been loyal to Guillermo and fled to rejoin. Going conspiracy because we failed our SAN.
The 2 of note are that you've talked to that are living and have names. Raul, who you can see is him and Patrick are like scooping some stuff up off the ground, kind of starting to pack to try to repack a few supplies. And then Eduardo, who is one of the 2 that were speaking in Maya. And he is one of the ones like holding a gun and pointing back out towards the tree line. And then check in with Bev. Bev, what are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
So Bev left off and she had joined those with her gun, kind of holding the line. And when she realizes that they aren't following, and then she notices just how quiet it is. There's no animals, no buzzing of bugs, that she kind of puts her gun down and she turns and she slides with her back towards the wall, and she's spattered in gore. And so she frantically starts to try and wipe it off her face and get it off. And she's also taking stock of who's alive, but you guys, she's kind of away from you all, but she's frantically whispering again to her side. No, you can't go chase after them. That's insane. No, just stay. I can't chase after you right now. We have to stay. We have to figure out what's happening. And she's, again, just kind of talking off to her side. No one's there that you all can see until you hear her just say, Shyma, no. And then again, just wiping off her face. Because I did fail my SAN test.
And for those of you who did fail, it is 1 point of SAN loss at this point. This is mostly for like just the sudden violence, the shot of Arturo, a few of the others, Jill. That's all it really is. Nothing mythos related. So 1 point for those who lost, 0 for those who passed. Will, you said you were doing some first aid. So why don't do we want to do that mechanically? Do you want to tend to some people?
Yeah. So I know Marie is down pretty low. How about Bev and Carmelita?
14 of 20, I can go without.
11 out of 18.
Well, anyone who took damage can have first aid.
That's
so
true.
it's just I'm just gonna prioritize and then pretend like I'm going for Marie.
And
first.
it has to be done within the hour. So if you don't do it now, doing it later tonight or tomorrow or something like that, you're not going to get the benefit of
Is
those first hours.
Patrick also wounded, Jeff?
Good question.
Because maybe
I
we
think he
could
did
just
take a
tend
shot.
to each other.
He did end up taking 1 HP of damage. Remember, he has his tough guy
tough
yeah.
talent where he taps into luck a lot to absorb stuff. I gotta hit him harder. I'm looking at his sheet. Let me just go ahead and edit that. Take that.
Wait.
Oh, he's not here. Let me just delete him. There we go. He's gone.
So my first aid is 72. For Marie, I rolled exactly a 72. So that is
Hell
a
yes.
pass. And it's a D4 of health.
Nice.
Marie, you get 1 back.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have better first aid than me? I don't want to monopolize it if you guys have better
If
chances.
you have 72, no, I
don't.
have 55.
No, mine's like
Alright.
30.
I do think you're the
something.
best.
All right, so
I do
Bev's
have
next.
some
Definitely.
medicine if we ever need medicine, but
Bev, you got a
Medicine's
69.
more for diseases. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
Nice.
mine's 30.
2 points.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you want me to slow down?
Again, for those listening, we use faster recovery rule from Pulp, so they're getting 1d4 back, in case you're wondering.
66 on Carmelita. 2 points for Carmelita. I rolled
Thank you.
23 for Long, which is a hard success. I don't think that actually helps for first aid, though. But he's
He will
getting
get-
the 1 because it can't go
He will
past
get his
max.
1 HP back.
Do I take
And
a
then I'll
bonus
cycle it
die
down.
or a penalty die for doing it to myself? For giving myself first
I
aid?
don't think so. I don't recall there being anything. I don't think for first. I can't remember there being one for first aid. There might be one for
I thought it was
like
for
treating a major wound
Yeah.
or something.
It's page 120. I don't see anything either.
I don't see anything either. I'm only looking at my notes, but I don't see anything for that either.
Yeah, I don't see anything in there.
So that's a 36 for me, which is also a hard success, but doesn't matter. 1d4. Hey, I got myself 4 points.
Nice.
Classic
Wow.
roll.
Look
How
at
convenient.
that. Look at that. 1 for
How
Marie,
convenient.
who is also sitting at 4 HP, and
Wow, look at
4
that.
for himself.
Marie played by Melissa too. Yeah, interesting. Okay.
I rolled in
Well, you're
Foundry.
going
You
around.
can't blame me.
Yeah, you
No,
rolled
totally see it.
randomly last night, too.
Okay, so Will is patching people up, going from person to person.
Yeah.
This is all probably taking maybe a 20 to 30 minute thing as you're going from this person to that. You wrap a quick bandage, you kind of clean out a wound. I would say of all of you, like some of you have gunshot wounds, but they're mostly grazes or through and throughs. Nothing that suggests like a major wound, because I don't think anyone actually got a major wound. A lot of you took a great deal of HP loss, but nothing.
I was
would
very
suggest a major
close
wound.
to a major wound, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
under.
And I think Will
Um,
had a major wound, but then immediately got first aid, and so it bumped him
'Cause of first
over
aid.
the. Yeah.
That
And
was from
Bev
the
is a little
machete attack before everything.
Oh, no, you're
Yes,
right.
That's correct.
You're right. Yeah, my bad.
Bev, you're a little out of it, and
Yeah.
Carmelita, you're paying close attention to the tree line. So I'm gonna say Marie. Marie, give me a spot hidden test.
All right. Son of a bitch. 95 over 72.
Would you like to push?
Yes, I would.
So I'll say. I mean, you tell me if this is cool. Like, do we think like maybe the first time you were just sitting back by everybody and looking around and trying to get stock of this like area you're in, and maybe pushing is getting up and pulling away from the group to look more closely around. Maybe that's the push. Is
Yeah.
that okay?
I would say now that Will has done a little bit of patching up, maybe that now she's kind of moving around a little bit more. So I am pushing this roll. Yeah, it's heck of a lot better. That is a 20 under 72, which is a hard
Nice.
success.
Hard success. Okay. So you get up once Will tends to you. Everyone starts moving around. You can see Luke is going through and like similar to what you were doing before, a head count, figuring out porters. He's asking, you can see him speaking Spanish to some of the Mexican porters. You can see him speaking Maya to some of like Eduardo. He's very fluent in both, and he's going through and trying to get a sense of what happened to everybody. And then Bev is a little bit out of it, kind of talking to herself a little bit. Carmelita is one of the ones that is watching your guys' six. The sun is coming down. Marie, you get up, you start looking around, and as you do, you notice that there is a mound a handful of feet away from where you are. You notice as you start moving in the direction of it that it definitely looks as though this area, this flattened, centralized area, it definitely looks like people have crossed paths through here. This doesn't look like untouched terrain. Even you can see like trampled weeds, broken blades, that kind of thing. And then you find what originally you thought might have been some debris, a large stone, plinth, something like that. But as you get closer, you realize there is like a buzzing coming from it, a flying. And you see insects, like the only animal that you all have seen since you come in here. and you realize they're human remains. And it's maybe 15, 20 feet from where most of you have started to hunker down amongst these scattered bits of stone. And when you look, it's pretty horrific, to be honest, Marie, as it looks like the body has been bifurcated. And the only thing you can see is the waist down. You can't see a torso. You can't see a head. You just see legs, waist. You see maggots kind of crawling through. Do you have medicine or biology or anything like that?
Not really. She's got a 32 in first aid, a 1 in medicine, and she doesn't have any sciences to speak of.
Okay. You roll a hard success on your spot hidden, right?
Yes, I did.
Something catches your attention and like amongst this gore, right? Maybe it's the gore that causes you to focus on this seemingly mundane detail about this body, is you lock in on the socks for some reason. As you realize, like, the body is probably that of a woman. It looks like it's like they're like skirts of some way. It doesn't look, or at least like high riding pants and just like the basic contours of the leg. And you look at the socks. They have this very distinctive pattern that looks very, very familiar to you. And I'll say it dawns on you that you've seen this pattern before. So I'm going to reshare with you guys an old clue or an old handout.
Ooh.
From back in the day, back in Mexico City. And you recall that I think it was Pastor Wood and Shyma maybe who found this, but like a photograph of like Sancho Dominguez and his crew, right? This expedition.
And Marie just looked at this fairly recently since we've been here, actually.
And maybe that's why it's in your head. These long, almost knee-high socks, and with these stripes at the top, and then this kind of diamond pattern. Now, it's muddy, it's bloody, but it looks like the same pair of socks worn by one of the women in the front row of that Sancho Dominguez photo. And she has been bit in half, it looks like, or at least cut in half. You see no signs of like the top part of her body. I need you to roll a sand test.
Sure. Nope. Nope, that is a 65 over 52.
1 point of sand loss.
Okay. And I would say Marie with this, like she was counting heads, and I would say kind of almost repetitively because she had lost sand on the way in. And so she's just sort of counting and kind of wandering over here. And I would say when she kind of sees the body and looks at that, she just sort of lets out this scream and just high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. And she's like looking to see which sort of her group is the closest by, as she's just sort of like pointing and screaming at this body.
Beverly is immediately looking over and moving over.
And so as you come over, you can see exactly what she's screaming at. The partial remains of a human woman, waist down. It's in these deep weeds, festering. And you can see that there's some maggots and some flies, blood everywhere. I need you to roll sand test too at the sight of it.
It's a half a body. It's a woman, and it's just half of her, and just the.
She's gotten super pale and taken a step back and failed Santa roll.
That's just a 1 point loss.
Okay.
As you're like, and I think you've already described it, your face growing pale, taking a step back, hesitating a bit at the sight of this.
And Marie just sort of...
This is certainly the most horrific thing Carmelita has probably seen yet as part of the party. Yeah, fair.
She's been around dangerous people before, but never anything quite so visceral as this.
Marie's going to scream
Will or Bev?
for Will or Bev, I would say. Or
No, not you. As Carmelita comes over.
well, she's here.
Sorry.
But look,
And panicking. a little bit.
it's her socks. It's her socks. Look.
Will would come over probably immediately at the screaming, so he'd be like already on his way by the time she calls for Will, and see that. And I assume I'm rolling sand now too.
Yeah, anyone who takes a look at it is going to roll sand. It's just that is how horrific this body looks. Partially decomposed, but not completely. I would say Will, being a man who has a decent amount of survival, what is fairly noticeable to you and probably peculiar is that you're in a jungle. There are remains here.
They have
And
not been scavenged.
strangely, they have not been scavenged. There's no birds, there's no carrion creatures, there's bugs, that's it. But it's very peculiar to you.
I fail my sand, but I'm gonna keep role playing where he just like tries to go into action mode and just ignore the fear to pretend that he's not scared. And I think he would, like, you see his hands are shaking a little bit, but he goes up to the body and he like kind of pulls the legs out from the brush a little bit to clear it, get a better look, and then like pat down pockets if there are any sort of papers that might be on there, or look for other parts of the body in the brush nearby.
Okay. You can give me a spot hidden as you start looking around. You nothing in the pockets.
I always miss
While
Pastor
you're
Wood
doing
when I
that.
have to roll spot hidden.
Bev, I'm never asking. Remind me never to ask Steven to spot hidden ever again.
Pastor Wood would have
Say
passed
I
that.
guess.
Will failed.
Bev, what are you doing as you hear
when
Marie
she
call?
hears Marie scream, that freaks her out, and she assumes incorrectly, but that we're being beset upon by the people who chased us here. So she actually will leap over the rock that she's behind and move forward to the other one, and she's got her gun out facing the tree line, and she's just frantically scanning to make sure that we're not under attack again.
Okay, so you got your little you've got the little snub nose.
She's got her
thing,
little
right? Like the
derringer.
little-
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you suddenly you hear the voice of Rick Luke. Hey, Dr. Key. Hey. Okay. Hang on. Settle down. And he's going to come up next to you so you can kind of see him in your peripheral. And he's just going to reach out and very gently kind of put it on his hand, right on your wrist, on your hand. Right, really. We're okay.
Are we
Everything's
sure that
all
they're
right.
not out there?
Oh, they're out there all right, but they ain't coming in here for whatever reason.
There's no animals
All right,
here.
let's-
Something's wrong.
I don't disagree, but just remember, you and I, we are professionals at this, okay? We got to show everybody else what that means.
And she'll kind of take a deep breath and just, she does stay there with him for a moment to collect herself, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's her socks.
Any
It's her
bu-
socks. It's her socks. You just hearing screaming in the
random thing.
background.
As Will is pulling a pair of legs out of brush.
You find, Will, no other signs of remains. Do either of you or Carmelita, if you want, medicine and biology, you might be able to learn something more, but you don't see any signs of further remains.
Medicine or biology?
To take a kind of a closer look at it,
Sure.
if you want to. If
You
you
said
don't
I
want
could
to,
roll
then-
this?
then don't worry about it. Yeah, the three of you are the ones who inspected the body.
Yeah.
Bev hung back, so I think it makes sense.
I got a 1 in medicine, so I'll let it rip and hope for a 1.
Yeah, same.
I got a
Always
32.
Roll really low. 31 luck.
I only have 21.
81.
You want to push? You want to push?
I wanna just put my hand inside. Is that how I'm pushing?
No.
No, I'll pass on the push.
Okay.
I mean, if Marie does keep screaming,
She does. She's
Beverly
lost two
will
sand
come
in
over
a short
and
period of
tell
time.
you to stop making so
Okay.
much noise, and then
Bev, don't look.
she will
Don't look over here. Marie, will you go over to Bev? It's okay. We got this. I
Bev,
know
look
it's her
at the
socks.
socks.
Don't look at the socks, Bev.
We know those socks. We know those socks. It's in the picture of the people and the plane, and it's the socks. The woman in front with the long
Yeah.
socks. Those
Marie,
are the socks.
could you got the picture in your bag, right? Could you go get your bag, get the picture, and show her the picture?
Yeah. Just
The picture.
let's.
And she
we
just
have
starts
to.
yelling.
Marie,
the picture.
Yes.
Somebody's
Yes. We
gonna
just.
go with and having a little more sand. Be like, "Wait, show me the picture, okay? I haven't seen the picture. Show me the picture." And we'll gently escort you back.
We have
Shut
other-
Marie the hell up.
Yeah. We're like, calm
More or
down.
less.
Basically. Yeah.
More or less. But like giving you something very specific to help with.
Yeah, we've had the photo for a while, and there's a bunch of people in it, and we haven't seen anyone that we knew that was in the photo. But we just had it out because we were looking at the plane and who the plane was registered to, and it's the woman that's right in front. Oh, just hold on a second, and then she finally shuts up while she's like going through the bags.
Rick, when you get a second.
Hey, yeah, what you need, Billy? You all right? Patched up? Oh, what the hell?
Yeah,
That ain't right.
it's from.
Rules. Crushed it. 14 on the sanity roll.
Of course he does.
Yes.
He is gonna outlive everyone. Okay.
We have a picture of the last expedition, the one that went missing, and she was in that
Okay.
expedition. So I think we got our first clue as to what happened to them. It wasn't bandits.
What the hell kind of thing does something like that?
Other question: how come nothing eat it?
Hey, that's right. That is kind of. And then you see he starts to like look up, and he's looking up at some of these. Like, remember, to the south, you can see these
Mhm.
tons of columns that lead to like a set of stairs that go up to a platform. He's kind of looking up at them. Far to the east, you can see like a pyramid. He's looking up there. He's looking up over at some of like the trees that are like kind of overhanging the area, like just the branches, right? Another question. Where are all the birds?
That's what I was telling you about.
Yeah.
I don't know about
And-
you,
and
Rick, but I'm
notice
feeling awful
There's no
exposed out
trees
here.
here. It's almost unnatural how they stop.
Okay, maybe. Or they just, the ancient Maya who made this place, like they could have just leveled everything and that's that, and whatever they used to salt the soil or something, nothing ever grew back. We don't gotta rush to judgment here about, nothing crazy. It's all right. It's okay. There are some grasses, and he's like pointing around, and there are like the grasses like kind of go up to your waist in some places. They go up to your
Mhm.
knees in others. Like, so let's not go too crazy just yet.
Rick,
What on
there's
earth
something
is
else you should know too.
What's that, Billy?
One of the reasons we wanted to find these ruins is because of this expedition that went missing. These people, they worship these giant mouths. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but that looks awful lot like she was bitten. She was chewed on. I think we might have one of these mouth situations here in these ruins, so we got to be extra careful going inside.
He's gonna kneel down at the body and take kind of a closer look at it. All of you has already done a roll, right? For like medicine or biology or something.
I mean, I'm up there now, so I should probably roll sand too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. And you can also roll
Pass.
if you want to. Nice. If you want to roll to assess, if you want to kneel down with him and take a look, you can roll like a medicine or a biology. Either one of those would be cool.
I'll do biology. I've got 40 in it.
Hey, finally, somebody's got biology.
Oh, she's had it back in the
32.
day in LA, remember?
Yep.
She was hanging out with
I just mean
Elizabeth
Somebody
Shue
with
character.
all of
science.
the
People rolling.
less educated folks were the first ones on the scene.
Dr. Granley. Remember her?
Dr. Grant. She went insane.
Did she?
Oh dear.
Okay. As you and Rick take a look, what you can glean, Bev, is that Will's not wrong. It definitely seems as though this woman was bitten in half. Not sheared in any particular way. You can definitely start to see the wounds that would commonly be associated with, I mean, honestly, it almost looks like a cat, like cat teeth, like a mountain cat, jaguar-like, So that, and it also looks like one big bite, not like a series of small bites, like one giant hefty bite. The other thing you notice is that there is like some kind of strange fluid around the area, around the bite area, that is almost like searing the flesh. Some kind of strange kind of caustic, viscous liquid. And you can see that wherever bone and skin are kind of intersecting at the bite radius, the skin just slides right off in a weird way. And as you're looking at this, one thing I'll give to Will too, as you start to hear maybe Bev say some of this out loud, and you're looking around for the other half of the body, you realize not only is it not here, but you don't see any signs of drag marks to suggest it was moved or relocated. There's no drag. It's just simply not here.
I don't think this body was moved either. It looks like it dropped right here in the brush. She could have been running from something. And it might not have been it might not have been attached to a wall like what you saw in LA. This might be something new. It seems like there's always a different flavor everywhere we go.
Oh. This isn't great news. This
And if you think about what they were able to do in Bangkok, what if they were doing something like that to animals? Like there could be some sort of predator out here, and we'll just start scanning the tree line, not looking for people this time, but for fictional jaguars or whatever his mind is conjuring up at this point.
Does the caustic kind of give me the vibes of like a poison? Or
No, not particularly. You would need to do some chemical testing to really assess it.
Okay.
But it certainly has like a kind of almost like an acidic kind of feel to it, like it erodes. You can also tell, I would say, in addition to you assessing this, like this is definitely a body that has had weeks maybe of decomposition. Certainly not months.
Okay.
And as you all know, it is late summer.
Yeah, we're months behind of when they
And
went out.
We're in August. And
Yeah.
You guys are months behind. They went in spring, and you guys are in late summer. And it looks more like it's maybe weeks old,
Okay.
as opposed to this having been sitting here since, April or something like that.
Yeah. They were out here months ahead of us, and this decomposition is really only weeks old versus if they had, been attacked right away. I wonder if maybe there's still more of them? Maybe alive?
None of them made it back to town. If they're alive, they're probably in the ruins.
Maybe. And if I had to
You
guess...
guys are, by the way, in the ruins. The
Yeah.
whole closets.
I'm sorry. I meant
looking around.
in the big
temple.
under.
And
Would I be able to? Sorry, go ahead.
if I had to guess, Guillermo and his team, this whole area around us where the trees are, it's probably trapped so that it's difficult for them to escape if they're still here.
That's a good point. When
we were corralled here.
When Guillermo stabbed me, I assumed he was working with them. But now I wonder if maybe there's a third party at play. Maybe they're trying to stop people from learning about this place. They want us to die here.
Or it's we're a sacrifice to this place to keep the peace. And she just kind of, winces at that idea. What is it? It's getting to be nighttime though, right?
It is. Sun's going down for sure. You don't have much longer than maybe 20 minutes of light or so. And as you guys are saying this, Rick's right here. And he's looking up. Right, I don't know what the hell you all are talking about, but let's nip it in the bud. Okay, about this and that. We got real people over there, and he kind of like motions over to like the Porters and Marie and Carmelita, and we need to keep our heads firmly squared on our shoulders here, right?
You're right.
Something terrible befell this woman, no doubt, no doubt. And I'm not gonna say that nothing strange has befallen this place, but like, we need to find camp. All right, I saw something off, and he kind of points off in the direction. I saw what looked like some tents or something, and he kind of points in the direction. I would say anybody who has done a look around, like Marie, maybe. Yeah. I think you passed the spot hidden. You definitely saw, like, to the west of where you guys are, in the opposite direction of the pyramid. There were like these large walls that are kind of affixed in this area, but you did see like there was debris, but not like stone debris. It looks like cloths and things like that. And that definitely stood out from a contrast to everything else you've seen. We need to find a defensible position.
Yeah,
we need to find a place where we can.
Rick, could you get the Porters setting up camp somewhere where we could bottleneck anyone that comes so that they're only coming from 1-2 directions at most? I don't want to use a campsite. Obviously, that campsite didn't work out well for them, but I think we should search it for materials. I'll take Bev, Marie, and Carmelita, and we'll see what we can salvage while you guys find a place for us to set up for the night.
All right. If you want to split up, we can do that.
We'll stay within sight at all times, within shouting, and each group should keep someone on watch just in case.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of twists and turns and stones and things. We could probably stay within earshot. I don't know if we can stay within eye shot if you want us to go looking.
Yeah, if either of us hear a gunshot, the other comes running.
Copy that, Billy. And then he'll stand up and he'll shout out in like Spanish, Maya, and you see a couple of Porters kind of stand up, and then like they start like looking around, and like he's gonna kind of point in different directions. So where you guys want to go?
Bev, there might be information on their expedition there, so I think we should be the ones that check that, but there also might be something that they don't need to see. I think we should be going there alone. Marie, Carmelita, are you okay to walk?
Yeah, see? And Marie they're just coming back with the photo, and she's kind of pointing to the woman in the picture and the socks of the woman. I still don't know who she is, but those definitely look like the socks. What are you talking about? Where are we going to sleep tonight?
Rick is working on setting up camp. We're going to go look at the previous expedition's camp. It looks like there's debris over there where they camp. They had their tents and everything. We're going to go through, see if we can find any of their files or anything like that. See if they have any supplies, rations, water that we can use.
That sounds like a good idea.
We're pretty sure this is where they ended. Not
at least one of them.
Stop on the way.
We'll see. We just barely got in here. Thank goodness we did get in here. But we'll see more tomorrow. But Will, good idea. We'll do that before we lose all the light.
Carmelita is going to ask both Dr. Key and Rick Luke because they have knowledge about this kind of thing. I don't know much about historical ruins. Was this like a would this have been a significant site or anything, or was it just a building in an ancient town? Or do you have any context for what this building is?
Bev, you can make a archaeology or anthropology test if you like.
Different information depending on what I roll, or
No, it would be the same.
hard success.
Okay. Judging from what you see, you, based upon your readings about Maya culture and how they, domiciles, life, etc., this does not strike you as being consistent with what a city or a town would look like. This looks like something different, more purposeful, religious, maybe, ritualistic, maybe.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. You guys are currently in this sort of centralized plaza of some sort, and there's different landmarks in various like cardinal directions from you that you would probably want to look into a little bit further. But there is nothing here to suggest to you that this is the site of a city.
So she'll kind of just relay that of, I can't say for certain, but it doesn't seem like it's a city.
That's what I was worried about.
Eyes open. Please be careful. And she again reiterates this towards Rick, Luke, and Patrick, who are kind of standing off to the side with the porters. We're gonna check out, like Will said, that other campsite and see what we can scavenge to supplement what we've lost. And just keep an eye out and your ears open.
I'll come with you, Will.
Yeah, let's all four of us stick together before we lose the light. Quickly.
Sorry,
All five of us.
Misunderstood.
Oh, we're bringing Patrick?
Patrick can come too if he wants.
Okay.
You look around, and you see hanging from one of the columns.
No.
It's the burnt carcass of Patrick. That's
Yay,
another
Magnus
Who's Patrick?
That's not what they said. I apologize.
We got another containment
Okay.
breach.
Jeff
So
is gaslighting.
where do you what? Dude, I did that like 2 years ago. You're such a copycat. Okay, so where do you guys want to go?
Checking out the debris.
Yes.
Okay.
Search for any sort of rations, files, equipment that might be salvageable from the previous expedition.
Okay. So you head over then towards where you think looks like the remnants of an old campsite. And you can see that as you kind of pass through a couple ruins and then through a pathway to the west, you can see that there are short grasses for sure and unevenly grown. It gives you the feeling of like maybe somebody kind of cut some of it down and it kind of grew back at a different rate. There are, in this flat expanse, there are 2 15-foot high walls, and they're made of stone. And not only stone, they look like expertly laid. And they're all sheathed in vines and moss. And you can see that there's all sorts of like jungle undergrowth here. And there's like cloths and tarps and scattered supplies here and there. And then you very much see what looks like more mounds, like you just saw, of bodies in various states of decay. You also, and you don't need to re-roll a sand for that. You've already seen the desiccation once. You don't need it in such quick succession. You notice that the walls themselves also have these like these stone loops that are jutting out from them as well. What are you looking into? And then, like, you know, if you have checks that you want to roll, we can.
You want a spot hidden from me?
I'll take a spot hidden. Sure.
Man, I always.
But not from you. I said not from you.
Not from you.
Nice try.
I feel like Stephen
Because my spot hidden's bad.
always says this because otherwise no one would ever talk about Pastor Wood because we've forgotten about Pastor Wood. And this is the only
He lives
way
on
that
in my
Pastor
memory.
Wood.
He was a bad character. What do you want to say?
Oh, brutal.
The campaign is better off. Just like whatever the hell
You
his
don't
elf's
like
name
Will
was
either, so
in
what are you
Wondering.
talking about?
Remember how Wondering just got so much better when he got rid of his shitty elf character and he actually started playing a good character? Remember that?
It's not just
Someone
spears
wants to
that
roll
are
a spot
falling
hidden,
from the
spot hidden,
sky on Saturdays.
If I'm there and helping, I can happily roll. Do I get my pup bonus?
Of course. Yeah.
Bonus because I'm helping as well.
No, I think that would be a penalty die. You're bad at it, you said.
I am.
Pastor Wood maybe would have done.
You're sassy today.
It's the last stream.
30 success under 60.
Hard success.
30 under 60. So it's a
Yeah.
hard success.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
You
I'm not-
notice
trying to be a topper, but Marie got a 6 under 72.
Nice.
wow.
What a
So
one-upper.
extreme success by the topper. Okay.
It's just what
The
the
two of
dice
you-
rolled.
Okay. So the two of you are sifting through some of the high grasses, some of the ruins. You see lots of like torn and ruined tents. You can see many of them are partially buried between tangled brush that is overgrown, dozens of decaying bodies everywhere. And you can see that there are there's signs in some ways like something this wasn't like just like the wind or time, but rather as if something was kind of tearing through this place, like ripping certain things apart. It just, some of it doesn't look naturally strewn. Okay, so I'm going to give you both two things. So for Carmelita, one of the things you notice is there is a broken spear that is protruding out from one of the bodies here that looks about weeks or months old. So you see a broken spear. It's almost not visible with the way the body's turned and the way the grass is grown, but you spot that. So that's one thing you see. Marie, you find a body that again matches some of the photos, right? But you see that like there are these underneath one of them, almost buried in some of the muck, are these sheets of paper where it looks like there was like a journal, like journal sized, that has been ripped apart. And as you kind of sort of push through it all, some of it starts flying away, but you manage to grab a piece of paper. And I'm going to share with you guys a little thing that she found. So, and then I'm going to share it with the stream too, because I'm going to try something new and we'll see how this works out.
Ooh.
So let me first share the players and then
Handouts.
try over here. Let's try this again. Okay. So if Melissa would like to, as Marie, go ahead and try to read what it is you see.
I will do that. Okay. We have reached the site, but our situation is perilous. Nothing has gone as planned, and I suspect we have been led astray by our guide. On the second day out from Merida, we were ambushed by bandits. I do not believe the attack was random. Our esteemed guide mysteriously disappeared shortly before the attack, and he has not resurfaced. No doubt this was some scheme concocted by Esposito or De La Vega himself. Whoever the culprit, they have underestimated us. Suffice to say, we escaped with our lives. A few porters were killed, so not all of our guides' recruits, it seems, were part of the betrayal. They are of little consequence. The site is all that matters now. So much remains intact. It is everything we dreamed. We made camp at the ball court, but our first efforts will focus on the pyramid. Alvar noted several peculiar features on arrival, even with our harried state. In the morning, and the ink sort of falls off.
Ooh.
Holy crap.
So that is what Marie has found. Okay. So you're sitting there, you're reading that. Carmelita, you're pulling this broken spear out from a body. Bev, Will, what are the two of you doing while you're here?
I would have been focusing on poking around looking for like the more practical stuff, like rations or tents or any sort of equipment and gear we could salvage.
Okay. I would say no real role necessary here. You can certainly, salvage some
sure
cloth strips and things.
You don't want to spy
sure.
them?
Nope. But you can grab some cloth strips, things like that. You can find what looks like a few old rusted hunting knives and things. They're kind of a little tarnished. You don't really trust. I would say you probably don't trust any of the water, which has some of these canteens and things that's been dented or spilled out. It doesn't look as though that's particularly salvageable. So you don't really see a source of water here. Moving around, I'll give you this though, because it's very obvious as you start to salvage and you're trying to pick stuff up between these large bodies. They don't look as though they have been cut in half the way that one in the plaza did. However, they are all headless. You start to notice not a single one of the bodies in here has a head. Some have arrows jutting out from them. And you can see a few are almost pinned into the ground because of it here and there. But none of them look as though they had that same effect as the woman that you found off to the east.
The decapitation, though, does match the Warner markings that we found along the way, right? Or
matching, you definitely saw that there were warriors standing atop decapitated bodies.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Bev actually isn't digging around while they're doing so. She's still kind of on high alert. She's still watching out for potential ambush, danger kind of thing.
Okay.
And didn't we see in those statues that some of the bodies looked human, but then they had snake-like heads?
I thought it was
more that there were snakes kind of moving out of the holes in the heads.
Yeah.
Okay. Would I be able to do... I know it would be difficult because this was months ago. Would I be able to do a track or a natural world to try and just see if I could figure out how the killing happened, how an ambush, what direction it came from or anything like that?
Yeah, I would take something. You could, what do you want to roll? Give me a pitch me a skill here.
Track isn't amazing, but I think that would be the most applicable for me. Trying to
absolutely
put everything together. I put my ear to the ground like Aragorn. That is a 47 over 40. I will spend the 7 points of luck to make it a success.
Okay. What you can tell is that there are several bodies amongst those that have been strewn about in this area that were shot or stabbed in some way, and that is without question. The fact that they have arrows in them suggests that they were fired from a decent distance. Just in terms of the layout, you would guess that they were fired from the plaza area to the east rather than from the jungle to the west. You do notice as you continue to move about that some of the bodies do appear to be even further mangled not just shot, but they have been like torn apart by jaws in a way. Like you can see that same kind of as you look a little bit more closely and try to figure out exactly what happened. It's horrifically to do so because every time you move something or poke something, maggots kind of spill out here, that sort of thing. But you would guess that they were many of the bodies were shot by arrows from the east. Some of the bodies, and you would need a medicine test to be sure about whether those jaw rippings were posthumous or like pre-mortem, post-mortem. You're not sure. That's hard to say. But something, again, like you get the sense that something stamped through here. Was it a regular success you had?
Regular, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's all you would probably pick up on.
Okay, so Will is getting this insane theory in his head, and I'd just like to ask you if the evidence does not could align with this. Will is starting to think that someone in the original expedition started to change, and their head like grew a giant mouth, or they like became some sort of monster, and then turned on themselves, and then other people killed the entire expedition afterwards. Is there anything that could like support that?
There's nothing to support or refute that theory.
Then it's true, and that is what we're working
with. A regular success. With a regular success, that is as viable a theory as most others.
And as Will is obsessing with that, Carmelita is going to call both Will and Marie over to this body with the spear and ask Marie, if they do come, will ask Maria if she recognizes the body from the picture, and Will if he recognizes the spear from his whole spear thing like 2 nights ago.
So Marie's got the photo out that she had,
Sure.
kind of like, and she's looking for anything that's kind of similar in terms of tall boots or, anything that looks similarly identifiable.
Definitely some of the male bodies that you found. It's mostly a male or a male expedition, but there are a couple of women, one of which you've already found. A lot of them are wearing similar clothing. There are a few, however, that seem to be much smaller and taller. Others kind of have a very distinct look to them. But you can definitely tell that at least some of the bodies, it's hard to pit one perfectly for another, but you might catch like a jacket here matches this here, right? You might catch like a specific style of shoe, or on a wrist you might see some kind of like beaded bracelet of some kind. All of that starts to track, and you're fairly certain that you're catching a lot of evidence to suggest that these bodies are part of the team. Since you've got the photo out, you would notice that there are 3 members of the team. If the picture is accurate, there are 3 members of the team unaccounted for in this camp.
Okay. So she maybe is sort of like making marks, kind of on the
crossing out.
Yeah, kind of like making little. This is yes, exactly, Miss Buñuel. There's most are here, but these 3 don't appear to be found yet, or maybe they're still alive, maybe. But we knew this was Dominguez and crew, and unfortunately, we seem to have found them.
They were ambushed by bandits, the same way we were. Looks like they were corralled in here. It could have been their guide who was in on it, or their guide could have just been a little less competent than everyone seemed to think he was. But
the guide did not return.
Are you sharing that letter? Right?
Oh, yes, here. My apologies. She has sort of the photo in one hand and the letter in the other, and so she'll yes, here. She'll pass the letter over.
Sorry, I assumed that you did already. But the fact that all these bodies are missing heads. So whoever came through and killed them, they took an extra step to cut the heads off. And we know that we're dealing with some sort of mouth. I think they were trying to prevent these bodies from turning into something. Why else would you do that? It's not like people are taking heads for trophies anymore.
But maybe if there are individuals that live out here that are not connected to a broader civilization, perhaps that is something that they do with intention.
That's awfully reductive, Marie. That's in
Bev calls out,
myths and legends. That's not history.
We're not in a city. This is potentially a ritualistic site. We know that beheading can be part of rituals, and that very well may be what happened here is they took these outsiders, these strangers who encroached upon their lands, beheaded them, and then ritually sacrificed them, offered their heads, their souls, their spirits, whatever they believe might be attached to the head, to the body, to whatever they're worshiping. Which if we're...
But I'm not saying it can't be. I think it's not likely, because if this was ritual, do you think they'd just leave the bodies splayed out the way they are, just where they fell? It seems strange. If there's a ritual about it, they would gather the bodies as well as the heads, wouldn't they?
Not always. Sometimes you just get what you need.
Perhaps they only need
the letter seems to imply that Esposito, or maybe even De La Vega, lured these people, lured the extraction here, and then left them to die. So maybe Esposito is... Maybe they were trying to protect people from entering the site? Maybe they are guardians of the site?
De La Vega did everything he could to prevent them from coming here in the first place.
Yes. That's why I...
So we were told.
So we're... And Will, you did mention something about a third party. Maybe that's what
I think. I think De La Vega... Maybe De La Vega himself is behind this, or at least a group of locals here. They didn't want people coming to the site, and now that they're at the site, they didn't want people leaving because of what they could contaminate with, what they would become, and that's why they desecrated the bodies here. And Will is definitely like going without evidence here. He's just
Sure. Patrick, keep watch, and at this point, Beverly's going to come over and like review kind of what you guys have found. She's going to read the letter. So we're in a ball court. Ball court. Can I do like a roll? What's the significance of the ball court? To
you could be an archaeology test.
Okay, cool.
Is that what happened? They were playing ball with the heads, and every time they lost a ball, they'd have to kill someone and get a new head, and they just killed each other.
Hard success, Jeff.
Mr. Sawyer, how dare?
Hard success. Okay. So at the term ball court in the letter, it sparks something, Bev. And you look at these walls that have been constructed here, 15 feet apart on a relatively flat expanse. And you also notice that on them, facing each other, there are stone loops, or hoops, I should say. And you start to think maybe that you are literally in the ball court right now. And it resembles to some degree, I mean, it's 1937, so like the NBA doesn't exist yet or anything like that. But like you definitely you start to see it right now. And maybe you've read about that somewhere.
That's so cool.
But isn't that both a sport, but also some sort of ritual?
Right. And so what you also start to notice is that as you start to move, maybe you get like the letter in your hand and you're thinking, etc. You start to look a little bit more closely at some of the ruins in here. And you realize that the walls themselves aren't just well crafted to have survived however long they have survived freestanding, but there are carvings on them. And the carvings themselves depict utterly gruesome human sacrifices that appear to be made to some kind of sphere up in the sky. Do you have I know you have anthropology. Do you have anything like theology or science or astronomy? Something like that?
I think the closest I had to that was my Cthulhu mythos.
That wouldn't apply in this case.
Okay. I have...
anthropology's fine.
You said
no
psychology?
reroll necessary. No. Anthropology, theology, science,
Okay.
Science, astronomy.
Yeah, I only have anthropology.
What you would know from your readings thus far, from Cartwright and some of the other books you've read, is that the sphere itself that these things are being sacrificed to is in of itself kind of a peculiar icon. And someone lesser educated than yourself, might presume that's that sphere that
sun.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Nor is it the moon, because in Mayan symbology, those symbols have very clear markings. And this sphere that you're seeing is not represented by either of those. So this seems to be something else. And more than that, as you go through the different murals on these walls, you actually see the markings for the sun and the moon elsewhere. So exactly what this is hard to say. And the sun and the moon are much smaller than this large sphere that these bodies are being sacrificed to.
That matches, though, like kind of before we were attacked, what Eduardo was hinting towards, that it was something else, something bigger. And the fact that when Will was being stabbed, if he told us, I presume you did, that Guillermo said something about Gozumal.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then Bev will start flirting with the idea that this may be referencing something larger like Gozumal.
Flirting with Gozumal?
No, like the idea, you know?
Just thinking about like what it could be.
I just love words so much.
Put yearning in the chat.
So you like basketball?
So I heard you were intelligent.
Like, who's your favorite team?
But anyways, yeah.
Okay.
So since Carmelita is like pseudo-local, not really local, but I have a decent history, can I support at all?
With history wouldn't reveal anything that has not already been revealed by anthropology and archaeology.
I do believe some sort of ritual, but also beheading may just be what they take as like a trophy for their victory. I know that is also a symbolic reason for why beheadings have occurred previously. So we're not, and this is from Ashley's brain. So I don't know, but I don't know necessarily if we want to stay here. I don't want us on the court as potential people.
Rick Luke is setting up camp somewhere else, somewhere more defendable. We're not staying here. We're just salvaging.
Okay. And then at that, she'll kind of like go back to, she's still clutching this letter that Marie had found, but she'll go back to Patrick to keeping watch again while you guys continue.
There's two things I'll say at this point. It's dark.
Yeah.
The sun has gone down. So you guys were on an expedition. You have lanterns. It's fine. But you would have to produce them to continue investigating. The second thing is Carmelita said when the two of you came over that she was going to ask Will about the spear.
Oh.
And Will, when you see the spear, it looks exactly like the one that you were walking around with. It's broken. Yours was intact, but it looks very much the same style, design, all that kind of stuff.
Hard to believe there might be locals around here that I fell down a hill and it shook out of a branch and almost fell on me. It probably was one left by the same people.
And you said you thought that the spear or the arrows were being shot from, and she points east, from that direction? That's what you saw in the bodies? Okay.
It wasn't from the jungle. It was that way.
And that's not where Mr. Luke is setting up camp, right?
I don't actually know where he's setting up camp.
You guys don't. He said to go look for one. So you guys split up. He even said it's a good idea to split up. And you said, yeah. And he even said, we probably won't be able to see each other. And you said, yeah, that's fine. And so he's off. Look.
Oh dear. Okay.
I make good decisions when we're out on expeditions.
Which is most of the time we are out on expeditions. So do we get our lanterns out, or do we call it for the night?
I think it's about time to regroup. We can always look for more in the morning.
Oh, great.
But there's not going to be much more we can find here in the dark. It seems like there's not much usable anyway, so let's make sure that we have a good place where we can sleep with our backs to a wall.
That sounds good. And Marie will start like singing to try to get a little kind of call and response going with kind of Rick Luke's group, and so she's just kind of
Marie, maybe we don't want to make that much noise.
Oh,
we're not the only people out here. Someone killed these people, and it wasn't Guillermo and their crew because they didn't cross the line.
Or they came later at night, but either way, Rick is going to have lights and lanterns up. We'll be able to see him as long as we're cautious.
But now we have to find them. This is going to take a while now. Okay. Okay. Marie's just going to sort of walk. Like if they're walking forward, she's going to try to look behind and just keep an eye out.
Would Will be able to find a place on this wall, like climb some vines to get a higher perch to see where... Because I assume Rick would have a lantern up somewhere.
No, I'm supporting to look for a camp.
So the way that this is laid out is that you have... Think of it like a cross, like a cardinal. Okay, cardinal direction. You guys kind of emerge somewhat centrally. To the south, there was the columns and the stairs. To the west, there was what you've just looked at. To the east, there was the pyramid. To the north, there was a kind of a cloaked and narrow path between jungle growth. Everywhere in between, so is vegetation. This is like literally a cross in the middle of the jungle. And so when you climb up on one of these walls, and you try to look at, it's about 15 feet, and you try to look in the direction, you can certainly look eastward towards where you came from, and you don't see any signs of lanterns. But whenever you try to look northward or southward, your vision is obscured by the jungle that is creeping in along the edge of this ruin.
What do I see when I look westward?
Oh, just jungle.
Oh, because we're right on the edge of the cross. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, this is right on the edge of the jungle. Yeah.
So I suppose we start heading eastward, and then once we get to the center, we can try to find a vantage point and look all four directions to see if we find him. We'll keep a lantern on, but keep it low, so we see where we're going, but we're not like lighting up the whole ruins.
Okay. So you pull out your lantern. You have a couple of them. It's dark now. And you do your best to keep it as muted as possible, but nonetheless, it is a clear bit of light in the otherwise darkness. You hear the sounds of like the jungle, but not within the spaces that you're traveling. You hear the sounds of like the calls of various animals off in the distance, nowhere near where you're headed. You return to where you all first entered this area, and you look around. You see no signs of Luke or his team. I'll say Will and Carmelita can both roll spot hidden tests. You said you were looking for stuff. What I will say though is it is dark, so I would be giving a penalty die to this. Carmelita, that means you would just be rolling it straight because of your keen eyes.
Yep. Thanks.
Could I do track instead of spot hidden?
Yes,
80
you
over
could.
60.
Okay.
I'll spend the luck.
I rolled a 99 over 40.
That is a critical fail.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Should have turned that lantern up a bit brighter.
Okay. Carmelita, you notice a flicker of light southward by the columns. It's there and gone, like in seconds. You're not sure if it was lantern light. You're not sure if it was a flashlight, because it's possible some of the porters could have flashlights. But you couldn't see it, but you saw it enough that your head swivels. You look over there, you see it reflected on one of the dozens, if not more, columns, but it's still a ways away. Like, think of it like a soccer field away. And then you're looking, and you can't quite see it. Will, you're looking around on the ground. You're trying to track. You start to move as you think you find footsteps on the ground, and you think you see some broken high grasses and things like that, and you're pretty sure it's heading eastward towards the pyramid.
I think it's this way.
I saw a light over there.
I see tracks going this way, though.
But I saw a light over there.
I don't think that Rick Luke would take us up by the tower. By the temple.
Well, do you want to stay here and I can go look?
No, we already separated from them, and that's turning out to be problematic, so we should definitely all stay together.
I rolled an intelligence test to see how Will would do, and he did pass it. So I think he would agree that light is likely where Rick Luke would be, and the tracks could have been made previously.
Yeah, because how fresh do the tracks look?
Brand new.
Oh, that's stressful. Especially because Rick Luke didn't come over here with us. He went a separate way. So why would there be tracks from there to here?
Maybe he just sent one of the porters to...
They would have announced themselves to us. They wouldn't have just watched us creepily from the grasses.
There's
they were
more and
watching,
more
they might have just
reason
been
for us
passing
to
through.
find the group. Let's make a way.
We're following the light?
Just
Go to the light.
That's what Carmelita's recommendation is.
Head on a swivel.
She's happy to lead the way, she saw.
I knew we were being watched.
They did chase us in here.
They funneled us in here.
But they didn't come in here, so something else worse has to be here.
Yes,
The things with the
they're
bows and the
watching to
spears.
make sure whatever it is gets us. If they're protecting the site.
So if they're trying to kill us, then they probably wouldn't put a light up. So maybe the light is the way we go.
We go to the
That's
light. If
where
not, we come back
Carmelita
and
is
follow the
heading.
tracks.
I assume we're walking and talking.
I'll follow you. Yes, we'll go this way.
Yeah, I just want confirmation that everyone's going.
Yeah.
So
Will is going to the light.
okay. So again, it's about a soccer field's length, so somewhere like 150 yards, something like that.
You have said
And-
that it was past columns. Are there anything noteworthy about said columns that if we pass
You need to
them?
get there. I'm going to describe them in a sec when you get there. Like right
Okay.
now, you're moving in their direction.
Got it. Thank you.
And you're traveling south out of this plaza area. You pass by some ruins, debris, stones on the ground, and you start to see around you, almost like a forest, hundreds of stone columns It's not just a dozen. As the area starts to open up, and you hold up your lanterns in different directions, hundreds of them, all of them spreading out in these different directions. I got a little photo to share with you guys, and you can see that each of the columns themselves is maybe 10 to 15 feet tall. Some of them are spread out on the ground. They kind of head off in like eastern and western directions. But there's rows and rows and rows and rows of them. They're very broad. They're very thick, and they seem to not be particularly weathered. They all have, various vines and other moss kind of growing on them here and there. And the ones that are closest to the edge of the jungle, you can tell that like some of the jungle trees kind of curl up, almost like they're like going to hover over top of them, but then strangely start to veer away. Through the rows and rows of these, you can see the ground turns to somewhat paved, like bricks, stones, stuff like that are on the ground, these big pavers, and that leads to these very broad set of stairs that are very like narrow. Like the steps themselves are extraordinarily narrow, but the actual flight of them is broad, and they seem to lead up to a platform that is maybe 30 feet up in total or so. The stairs themselves look to be in relatively good repair. You don't really see any major breaks or cracks, and same with the columns themselves. You don't really notice any significant destruction. Like there's not like one column that's fractured here. They're all in fairly good condition, and I would imagine to some degree, Dr. Bev, that this would be a very significant find archaeologically, if not for the other context in the moment. But that is what you see. And you do not see any signs of a light that you are over here.
I'm gonna go up the stairs and just see if I can see any light from there. The higher vantage point.
Okay.
We should all go with you. We shouldn't split up.
Can if you want.
Okay, I'm right behind.
So this was where we thought we saw the light previously, Jeff?
This is where Carmelita did see, not thought. She saw a flicker of light from amongst the column area.
It was in this
and you can
area,
even see,
but it must be beyond here? And that's what she says as she walks up.
And Marie's going behind her up the stairs.
Yeah. So follow.
Okay. What about you, Bev?
Just be careful. And Bev's actually going to draw her gun out. Or like she has it ready in her purse. Like her hands in her purse on her gun, but it's not visible. She's following everyone else and trying to get a glimpse of these pillars. Because would Bev know what these pillars stand for? Like their symbolism?
Not in so many ways. Like what I would say, there's not like an additional check that would give you anything that you haven't already started to formulate from the previous checks. Mainly being this site feels more religious, ritualistic, and not domestic.
Okay.
Like this here, a series of columns leading to a stair going up to a platform would certainly give you the vibe of there is something of significance about this area, as if something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not
almost like we're heading up towards an altar of some kind.
In similar respects. Yeah. You can tell as you're moving up, the columns themselves, similar to the ball court, has the same kind of like wrappings of engravings that are not dissimilar from
Yeah.
the warning totems and from the ball court engravings. You're seeing similar iconography here and there. Yeah.
Okay. I really don't like it here. I don't think this is where he would have us camp. Just be very, very careful.
No, definitely. I'm just looking for the light. I don't. It was here.
Jeff, as I get like halfway up the stairs, I assume like that's about where we are at this point. Would I be able
Sure.
to look back like towards where we saw the tracks and see like if there's any light coming from that direction of the cross?
Roll a
Spotted.
luck test.
Oh dang! My luck is 14.
Oh.
Oh,
That's a 56.
oh.
You look back in the direction as Bev is kind of fumbling with this. Carmelita's pushing up the stairs. Maria's right behind her. The two of them moving up. You see Bev's talking to them. They're going to be careful. You turn back, Will. You can see Bev is literally fumbling with her bag. Right as you see coming at you, like this flickering glow in the sky, like right in the air, right in front of you, almost the eye line. And in a split second, something looks like it's about to hit you in the face, and then suddenly it just goes through your head, goes through your face, and then you hear a clattering on the stairs behind you.
I spin back around and look at the stairs.
And everyone can hear the clattering, and when you look down, you can see that there is a arrow there on the stone, not unlike the ones that you saw in the bodies in the ball court.
Okay, the light was not Rick Luke. We need to get back down the stairs.
What was that? What was that noise?
I grabbed the arrow, and it shone in the dark. I don't know what's going on, but this is definitely a decoy.
Okay.
Carmelita does not need to be done. But she's running down trying to take cover behind one of the columns.
Okay. So by running down, I just want to, so that we're all on the same page, if you guys decide to do that, you are running in the direction from which the arrow was coming. Is that your intention?
It's her
Yes.
intention and to hide behind one of the columns.
Okay. So you guys race down. You're maybe, like I'll say, Marie, Carmelita, you were up near the top of this. You started to see a platform begin to extend and spread out. There was no light. It's very dark. Only the starlight, moonlight, maybe giving it some bit of a glow. Carmelita, you turn, you race down. Will, same thing. Marie, Bev, what about the two of you?
I think Marie has to come down the stairs because Carmelita was ahead of her and Carmelita wants to come back down the stairs. So then Marie then has to kind of turn around and kind of follow
It's a
Carmelita.
very broad staircase, just has narrow steps. Like the depth of the step is very narrow, but the staircase itself is quite broad. Like you all could easily fit side by side. I mean, honestly, like 20 people could fit side by side going up these stairs.
I think Marie might be nosy. Marie might finish going up the stairs and just see what she can see at the top of the stairs.
Okay. What about you, Bev?
Since Bev didn't really go up the stairs yet, I think she's kind of fumbling at the bottom. She would have immediately just kind of taken cover at the base of one of these pillars.
Shit, Marie's not coming. So I, yeah.
As she's trying to
I'm resolving. You guys moved.
Yeah.
Will, you said you were moving. Carmelita, you're moving. Bev, you're moving. Marie, you kept going. And as the three of you that decide to take cover, you can each roll a spot hidden. And while you do that, Marie, I'll describe what it is you see as you get to the top. We'll say Patrick's with you just for funsies.
Okay.
Can I take my bonus?
Everything will be at a
Because it's
penalty
dark.
die because of the darkness.
Yes.
So for you, it would be normal.
Just
Everybody else is rolling with penalty.
Thank
Oh,
you.
okay. I'll have to re-roll.
Marie, when you get to the top, you can see that the columns continue up here.
Okay.
And it's actually you realize that the columns themselves are not as tall as the ones down below. And they're even a little bit more narrow here and there. And you also notice that on many of these columns and on some of these stone beams that are jutting out from the columns here and there are dozens of rotting human heads. Well, I should say there are a dozen rotting human heads and several skulls that are up here. And they are all atop of like either these beams or these columns, each of which has kind of engraved or carved into it figures that almost seem to be like holding up the top of the platform or the top of the beam that holds one of these skulls or rotting heads, as if it's like in this aloft kind of pose. You need to go ahead and roll a sand test at the sight of this.
And
as there's skulls everywhere and many like rotting, decapitated heads.
Okay. And she's definitely sort of like kind of putting both hands over her mouth so that she doesn't scream out loud at the sight of this. And that's a fail, 61 over 51.
Okay, so you take a point of sand loss at this.
And
okay.
She's just sort of like holding her hands over her mouth and just sort of like looking around and like just see her sort of almost crouching a little bit at just like taking in everything that she sees up here.
Okay. So as you're up there, we'll catch up with Patrick's rolls when he gets back. The rest of you are down at the base, hidden amongst these larger columns at the base of the stairs. All of you rolled your spot hiddens. How did we do? Any passes?
No.
Yeah, Bev succeeded, and I'm gonna actually spend 18 luck to get a hard success.
I failed.
Nice.
Okay. Bev, you see moving out from behind of some of the ruined plinths and stones back the way you all just came. There are a trio of figures, humanoid figures, men, women. It's hard to tell exactly. But they are wearing these like almost like armor. And it reminds you very much like the totems that you saw en route here. And they've got these bundled cotton wraps. They've got these hides draped from them. It's hard to distinguish exactly what those might be of. They, you can see, it definitely looks like they have spears. They got these tall, one of them is carrying this tall bow that is effectively as big as a spear almost. And you can see two of them that are carrying the spears have shields that on the outside of the shield as they're moving in your direction. It looks almost like a flayed human face has been stretched across it. You can tell that many of them are like tattooed or they have like markings of some kind. And you can see that they are moving with like this kind of stalking type movement. Like they're slow, they're quiet. And you see one of them has a bow out. And as you're watching, you see them flicker. Like they illuminate for a second and then they're gone.
Bev quickly and tries to quietly point this out to Will.
Who failed his spot hidden.
Yeah. And
was it Rick?
no, and at that point she's gonna take a shot at them because they're shooting at us.
No,
They flickered out.
you don't see them.
Oh,
They went
they flickered
right
out
in front of your face.
I thought
They
it was
flickered,
just the bow.
almost like this ghostly spectral like light. They suddenly like just and then they're gone. But then as you look back out, because you lean back to tell Will, and you look back out again, you're watching and you see them suddenly flicker back into existence, that same sort of spectral glow. And you see one of them has its bow drawn tight and looses it. So Bev, what is your dexterity?
50.
And then add your plus 50 for the gun.
What do you mean add plus 50 for
So
mine?
it's to be 100.
Okay.
So when you have a gun that you're ready to, and that you plan to use on your turn, you actually get plus 50 to your initiative score. So normally you
okay.
have 50, but if you shoot the gun on your turn, that means your shot resolves at initiative 100. Unfortunately, they have higher dex than you.
Okay.
And he had a bow out, and so he fires this bow in your direction.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. And fires right at you, and you go to bring your gun up, and the arrow moves with this kind of flickering glow, like this spectral glow through the air, barely curving. It's like moving in this extreme speed, and like it goes right through your face. It's like right between the eyes, perfect shot. And then you hear the rattling on the ground behind you. What do you want to do?
I think, honestly, I think Bev would run.
Where?
Up and away from these people. She knows Marie went that way. So she's just gonna, like, Will, because she pulled Will's attention to herself, so Will probably watched as she reacted like she got shot in her forehead, and then she scrambles and just turns and just immediately just hustles. She says, "Get out," and just goes.
Okay. So since you're not shooting your gun, that will resolve at your normal
50.
dex 50,
correct.
which means that Will and Carmelita, you actually will get to go before Bev. Technically, as Bev is like, there's this moment, maybe you freeze for a moment. You literally just got shot in the head by an arrow that somehow didn't harm you. Will, Carmelita, you see her like mumbling and saying like, "We gotta go." And then what did the two of you do?
I try to look the direction she was pointing towards. Do I see anything?
And as you look over, you see flickering into view, like in this sort of spectral glow about them, you can see three figures, two of which are carrying spears, these long spears and shields, and they are like moving between each of the columns slowly and carefully, stalking in your direction, whereas one of them is currently reloading a bow that they just fired at the far edge of the columns. They look, Will, just like what you saw out in the jungle when everyone was climbing up in the rain and you saw them coming towards you. What do you want to do, Will?
Get up the temple. I'll get Rick, and I want to draw my gun and fire it into the air.
Okay. No roll necessary. Pop. Goes up.
Would I also be able to start moving, or is that too much on my turn?
No, you can start moving, I would say. You wouldn't be able to get fully up, because I'm going to require anyone trying to move quickly up these stairs to actually make a dex or a climb test.
I don't want to go up the stairs. I want to swing wide and try to draw them away.
Okay. All right. So you start to swing wide, staying on the ground, sweeping maybe to like the, we'll say, southern side a bit of
and not being that
columns.
secret, because I am firing the gun,
and you're just
drawing
pop
attention
up in the sky. Carmelita, what do you do?
I am not looking. I'm following Will.
Okay, so you just
I told
you
you
and Will
I
just
said to go
link
up
off.
the temple, though. Does that matter to you?
Nope.
Okay. Guys are such a good team. And so you begin to flank. You guys are going to live forever. So you start to flank south, the two of you moving in that direction. Bev, you start to run up the stairs. Give me either a dex or a climb. This is just sort of to determine how well or how quickly you're able to move up these stairs, which again, they're very narrow steps, easy to miss one, especially in the dark. And I would also say we didn't really identify who's carrying lanterns, whether it's all of you or all of you carrying lanterns.
I would say probably we weren't.
Yeah.
I think only one of us, because we were trying to keep it low.
I would imagine Marie and Patrick have one.
Yeah.
Obviously, 'cause they split up at the top. So one of the two of them have it, and one of the three of you had it. So, okay. So if that's the case, each of you roll a luck test, and the lowest roll is the lowest successful roll is whoever has the lantern.
That's a 95 for me. We all rolled 90s.
90s.
Wow.
Holy crap. So
96,
bad.
91, 95.
Bev, you have it. So Will and Carmelita, you're sneaking off in the darkness. Bev,
Yeah.
you turn around, gun in one hand, lantern in the other, and you start racing up the stairs.
Yeah.
So no penalty die or anything like that. It's just, but I do want you to roll a dex or a climb to see how effectively and quickly you get up these stairs.
Okay, I'm gonna rip a dex and fail.
What? All the 90s?
Okay.
My gosh.
Oh,
As long as it's not a fumble, you don't stumble. You're moving slowly. The problem is though, is you get maybe halfway up the stairs and there is nowhere to take cover halfway up the stairs. And so you're kind of wide in the open with a lantern in hand. Okay. I'm going to give Marie a listen test to see if you heard any of the commotion and potentially able to react to it.
57 under 61.
You do hear the sounds, obviously, of the guns being fired, but more so you hear the sounds of like Bev maybe saying, run back away, run. And you hear her voice getting closer as if she's racing up the stairs.
you hear her, we're being hunted.
Marie was sort of already kind of crouched a little bit just in horror at kind of everything that she was seeing, and she had her hands over her mouth. So I would say she would kind of stay kind of in that down position, but she's gonna like, and I understand kind of the way the stairs are, but she's almost going to like lay down and reach an arm out to like help Bev up. And it's probably not going to be necessary, but that's kind of how she's going to be like, I'm up here. And she's, kind of like flailing her arm out to help Dr. Key up the rest of the way.
Okay. So you lay down, you're basically prone. You got your lantern off to the side. We'll say Patrick is doing the same, and that's where we're going to end you. Top of the next round. Will, Carmelita, the two of you snuck off to the south. Because you're firing your gun, Will, I'm not rolling a stealth test.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be.
Okay. I just want you to know. Okay. So if that's the case, then the two of you, that's not true. The guy with the bow gets to go first. So I'm going to have the guy with the bow go. And he's got one very clear, very wide open shot, and that's Bev. And that's what he's going to fire at. And so once again, through the air, like this, right in the direction of where Bev is. Okay. All right. And once more, Bev, you hear the sounds of an arrow rattling, and you look down on the ground. You see it moving. You look over your shoulder just in time for another one to come directly at you, and it should hit you right in the back. But instead, you look down at your chest, and you watch it fly out from your chest and embed into the step right in front of you, right in the seam between some stone. Meanwhile, Will, Carmelita, you can kind of hear the sounds of crunching, maybe, as if something or someone is getting closer to you. It's to you too now at 80 dex. Actually, wait, what's Marie at?
70 dex.
Marie's not. Okay, so Will, Carmelita, both of you are at 80. Will, give me a luck test.
I'm good at least. 54 over 14.
Okay. Your turn. Your guys' turn. Either order.
What are you doing, Carmelita?
I'm gonna look to see if I can see what the fuck that crunching is.
Spot hidden test.
Okay. Just straight?
For you, it'll be straight because it's because of your keen. Otherwise, it'll be everything spot hidden wise will be penalty die.
34 under 16. Regular.
You see 2 columns away. There is a figure, as I described before, in this woven cotton armor, carrying a spear, and you see in the moonlight the contours of this stretched face on the shield, like this long flayed face. You're not sure if it's real or not. Either way, with this proximity, Carmelita, give me a sanity test.
Yeah.
As you see, as it's moving closer, it's flickering. It's shimmering somewhat.
16, nice. But a fail.
You watch it shimmer for a moment until it's almost completely invisible, and then it pops up again. But this time it's at the next column, one row closer to you. You take 4 points of sanity loss at the sight of this, and the sudden appearance of this, whatever this is on its shield. They look like warriors out of 500 years ago, but there's something about them that at the same time, they're both human and inhuman. Okay.
Okay.
I believe you have hit your daily sand.
I have.
Okay. So daily sand for you then means that you, not for you specifically, but daily sand, I believe, means a bout of madness. Right? A bout of madness check, I should say. We haven't done one of these in a while.
No,
Ooh,
it's
it
been
has
a
been a
minute.
bit.
I've forgotten how to do it, to be honest. I did a
Just
bunch
wanna double
with Shyma,
check.
and then I promptly forgot how to do them.
So it's indefinite
Okay.
insanity.
Indefinite insanity,
Indefinite.
156 results.
Yeah, I got it up. Yeah. So effectively, this is going to be bout of madness into underlying insanity, et cetera, et cetera. Just trying to remember, is it automatic bout of madness? Do you have it open, Steven? Is it automatic, or does she roll the intelligence test?
As far as I can tell, it's automatic. No investigator is simply able to shrug off this amount of sanity drain. The lasts until the investigator reaches a place of safety in which they can rest and recover their wits, which means surviving until dawn, sitting down for a nice cup of tea, etc., having a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Lasts until
think
they're
it
cured or
bypasses-
recovers.
Because it's the temporary insanity one that has the int roll, and that's from 5 or more.
Yeah, yeah.
So in this case, this is bout of madness. Investigator loses all self-control for a short time. I get to control your character,
Ooh.
and I dictate your actions. The nature of the bout of madness can also be determined by rolling on a table. However, the investor cannot lose additional sanity during this bout, and it's going to last for 1d10 combat rounds. Go ahead and roll the d10 to see how long this is going to last, Carmelita.
Oh, joke.
And it's also possible one of your backstory entries is altered because of this, or a new one is added.
5.
5 rounds.
5. Oh dear. Okay, let me.
That's a
I
lot
have
of
these.
rounds. Also, Stephen, I'm really sorry, but she probably has her gun out. So just FYI.
I'm not gonna have you shoot. Just doesn't really.
Yeah,
make
why
any
are
sense.
you giving him that
I'm
idea?
just-
He didn't mention that in the slightest. There was no hint of that whatsoever. You're practically begging
I'm
for it.
just saying.
What the hell?
Look, I spent
Okay.
all last session keeping him alive. Now I'm spending all this session killing you.
I remember
Who's your
going down a
significant
cliff to
person?
save you, okay?
I know.
It's true.
That's what
I mean, I remember
happened.
Rick got there first, but whatever. Let's see. Your friend is your significant person, like, is that, or are we saying it's Gonchi, or is it with somebody else?
No, it was my father and my childhood best friend, who is now a parish priest.
Okay. Okay, that one doesn't really make sense then. I'm gonna say, like, you look past them, past where this like spear wielding person is, and you see a light in the direction of the plaza, almost back the way you came. And it looks in some ways like maybe it's Rick Luke and maybe some of the others that are kind of coming in your direction. But you see a tall figure in like priestly garbs, like you said, and we'll say that you look up, and for some reason your mind just like breaks, and like that figure that you see moving in this direction reminds you of your significant person, your pastor priest, which makes no sense. They shouldn't be here, but then this person shouldn't be flickering in and out of existence. There shouldn't be a flayed face on their shield. There's a lot of things that shouldn't be happening right now, and so that's what you see. And so I think what we'll say is, like, there's probably a desire to run to them.
Yeah.
So I'll say that's what Carmelita is most likely going to do. Is going to leave the cover of the column and just start running in the direction of where she thinks she sees this light with Rick Luke, and maybe a priest of some kind coming with him.
Sebastian? What the? And she takes off, Will.
Okay. And so you see her just bolt. And now she's not running directly at the spear guy, but she's certainly veering close. And so that's what happens with Carmelita. Will, it is your turn. I don't think you've gone yet, but I will also ask for the sanity test for you.
Fair.
Because they're in such close proximity now that you can see things with much greater clarity. And
That's
the flickering in and out is...
A fail, 85 over 49.
You are going to take 2 points of sanity loss.
All right, I'm
And then you
still
see Carmelita
doing okay
bolt.
with my daily. So Will's charges to protect Marie, Bev, and Patrick. He would happily protect Carmelita, but he also told her to go up the temple, and then she just bolts off a different direction. So I think he's going to focus on still trying to get to Rick and bring him back to protect the main group rather than try to protect someone who's doing their own, going rogue. So I think I'd keep like swinging around and trying to reach Rick. The
Okay.
direction that I think Rick went, like those tracks that we found.
As long as you're not firing the gun this round, I'll let you make a stealth test to try to keep them off of you.
I do want them to follow me more than go up the temple still. So I think
Okay.
I'd fire the gun one more time.
All right. And these two spear-wielding figures will hear the gun and they'll look over in your direction. And maybe one of them looked like they were about to veer off and chase Carmelita, but by firing the gun up in the air, they quickly turn back around to you. And they begin to stalk. But then as they take 2 steps, they flicker out. And then you hear and suddenly the crunching of gravel as you realize they are on the other side of the column that you are currently hiding behind.
They got that Mike Myers power. They're always walking, but they're always faster than you.
Maybe. Okay. That is 3 of you. So then Marie, you hear gunshots. You hear the sounds of Carmelita's voice. Something about Sebastian. You couldn't hear the specifics of it, but she yells out a name, and then you see her like running in the moonlight. You can barely see her, but you could definitely see someone racing back. You hear the sounds of the gunshot. Bev is still coming up towards you. What do you want to do, Marie?
I would say that Marie is laser focused on Bev at this point and helping Bev get up to the top of the platform. So I would say whatever she can do, whether it's like a dex check or something to, basically just try to help kind of Bev get up to the top. That's kind of what she's focused on.
We'll say Bev will get a bonus die to sort of clamber up without falling. We'll say that.
Okay.
Okay. And then Bev, it will come to you.
Hurry.
Yeah, she will continue heading up. So I'll do that dex check with a bonus die. 15, hard success.
Okay. And you're able, you look back, the arrows flying at you, clinking, going literally through your body, one through your head, one through your chest. You should be dead right now. And you race up the stairs. You grab Marie's hand. She kind of pulls you forward. Like you feel like Patrick's like hand, like as he kind of like pushes your head down a little bit. So the 3 of you are like in this like row, keeping your heads down and away from the arrows that are flying and looking down at the columns below.
And you guys just hear Beverly just kind of mumbling how she was shot twice and she should be dead. She should be dead. And just a lot of confusion.
You're not bleeding. You're not bleeding. And Marie just sort of whispering back at her.
Okay. New round. I just want to double check something. Not double check something. I want to roll something. Okay. The person with the bow and arrow sees Carmelita rushing past and sees Bev, like as right as they're about to fire another arrow up at Bev. Like Bev gets pulled up by Marie, pushed down into cover by Patrick and Marie, and then thinks twice of that and then turns, or at least like looks like they're about to turn but doesn't, just kind of flickers and is gone, and then flickers back and is now pointing the bow and arrow at Carmelita as Carmelita is rushing towards the plaza and is going to take a shot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Everything's fine, guys. And Carmelita, like you don't even notice it probably in your state as you're just racing towards who you think might be Sebastian, and instead what the rest of us see, like if this was like cinematic, right? We see an arrow just kind of fly through her and then thud right into the ground in front of her. Carmelita, give me a dex test really fast here and do it at penalty die.
Nope.
As you're kind of going nuts.
Yeah.
You're in your bout of madness.
Yeah. It's a fail with a 98. But not
The arrow goes
fail,
through you.
thankfully.
Goes through you. The arrow hits onto the ground. You immediately then trip over the arrow. This arrow that just went through you. It did not, and again, you don't have the wherewithal to notice that this thing just passed through you.
No.
It then embeds into the ground, and then you trip over it. We hear the sudden snap of the arrow as Carmelita races over it, and you go tumbling and sliding down into the ground. Top of the round, you're still in your bout of madness. This is the second round of it. You scramble up, maybe not even paying attention to that, and look up, and you see, again, 50 yards away, the light coming towards you, this like preacher kind of holding a light in like a lantern up, and is moving in your direction, and you scramble up and continue to race towards it.
Do I take any damage from that?
No. Will, your turn.
So this
There's now on the other side of the
in front of
column,
me.
you know there's a spearman.
like the
Right on
direction
the
I
other
was
side,
running.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I continue running that direction, but instead of firing in the air, I fire at him.
Okay, you race, you run, you turn back, and you see like almost if they're ready to thrust in your direction, but you fire. Shoot your gun. What you got?
All right. Handguns are 80. I rolled an 81. I will spend the 1 point of luck to make it a success. 1/14 of my total luck.
Okay. You fire and you hear the sounds of like the sounds of a bullet hitting the shield and then splintering it, and then suddenly as you how much damage did you do?
Oh shit, I forgot I need to roll for damage. You got me tense here. It's a D10. That is an 8 plus 2 is 10.
10 points is excellent damage. However, it's not good enough.
Don't tease
as
me,
you
Jeff.
shoot them, it goes through the shield, hits them in the shoulder, but they kind of fling it back, and nonetheless, they turn back towards you, their head down. You can't even see their face. It's under some sort of like ceremonial helmet or mask, but you can see now up close these contours of like tattoos or markings of some kind. And I hate to do this to you, but did you roll that with a penalty die for the darkness?
Oh, shit, no, I didn't. Okay, penalty die was a 10, so it would have been fine.
Okay, we're good. All right, excellent. That is your turn. Then it is Marie's turn. As you hear the sounds of a gunshot go off again, I would say you can roll a spot hidden at a penalty die to try to get a better sense of what's going on below.
Okay.
Marie. This is not your action. This is just to sort of get a sense of what's happening in the darkness below.
Are
Man.
both of us rolling it?
When your turn comes around, you'll get it
Okay,
too. Yeah,
cool.
for sure.
So, first roll was a 6, but because of the penalty die, it's a
That's nice.
76. So
What's your spot hidden?
72. So I'm going to go from 21 luck down to 17 luck to pass.
Okay, so you're gonna pass. Okay.
Yep.
That's a long way of just saying you passed. Okay, so you see,
I know no other way. You know me well enough.
you see Will. You think it's Will because occasionally you see like this little like flash from the gun, right? Just like the tiniest little flash of the gun, and then that flickering of light as like this figure emerges and then disappears and then emerges again. And you see Will's kind of like racing around, and this thing keeps kind of flickering next to him, and you can kind of see he's almost being like flanked, as there's one coming from one direction, one coming from the other, and he's firing left and right. You can see Carmelita is now at this point 70 yards away from you, nearing the plaza. You don't know what she's doing. She's just running. And then you see also in the ground amongst the middle of the stone columns, there's a bowman just firing in the direction of Carmelita. It's like rapid firing in her direction. And all the while, like sticking into the ground, all these different arrows begin to embed around where Carmelita's running. You can take an action. What would you like to do?
Okay. Marie would see Carmelita as being swift. And so she will, because of that kind of distance, I think she will. And so we'll see if I may only get half of this done because she did not have her gun out, unlike Bev. So she would need to reach into her bag, grab her gun to be prepared to shoot at one of the ones around Will, probably next round, I would think. Because all of that would take
You
a
can
bit of
try to
time.
fire this round.
Okay.
You can pull it on fire. That's fine. Will be a penalty die. I will say, because of how dark it is and all of the different columns, and like there's lots of things potentially in the way of blocking this shot, but it will be at a penalty die.
All right, and
I
I'm
know
going to take
Maitreyi
a couple.
wants me to get shot, but don't hit me.
I'm going to take a couple of audience boosts to put that at a 50.
I'm rolling so bad, it's ridiculous.
And I failed a 74
no.
over 50.
You see one of the columns just explode as the bullet hits it. It's off. It doesn't hit Will. It doesn't hit this figure, but it just kind of splinters some stone, maybe 3/4 of the way up one of the columns and misses. Okay, I've gone with them. Comes back to Bev then. Bev, you can make that same spot hidden to try to get a good idea of where everybody is, and then decide if you want to make an action.
Okay.
Make an action. I'm an English teacher.
Not to
Teach writing, communication, and I just said make an action.
Not to harm myself, but now that I'm up here and this horrific scene is up here, do I need to roll a sand? Or is
Only
it
if
too
you're
dark?
actually directly looking at it.
Okay.
I'm going to say that maybe you're not directly
I
looking
don't
at
think
it just
I
yet,
am,
as
but I
you're-
just wanted to check and make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you said spot hidden with a penalty die?
Yeah, everything's just really dark, and as we rolled, they are not the ones with the lanterns, unfortunately.
Ooh. I rolled 2 10s, so 12.
Okay,
Hard
you.
success, or
Phenomenal.
extreme success, excuse me.
Awesome roll.
All right. So you definitely get a sense of where everybody is. You see Carmelita running. She's kind of going in and out of these little streaks of like moonlight in between some of the ruins. Will, you can see, is in this strange cat and mouse game with these two spear wielding figures that look very much like those you saw in the totem. What do you want to do, Bev?
I would like to try and take a shot at one of them.
I'm going to say that that's not going to be possible. Your Derringer has a range of 3
That's
yards.
my question. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think they're close enough to really.
They're not
be
3 yards away?
effective. Even
No.
yeah,
Even
it's not
when I
3,
was
it's
down
like
there.
9 yards.
Yeah.
If you go at like
Yeah.
that's not even halfway down the stairs. I should have checked with Marie as well, but she missed, so no harm, no foul. But yeah, I would say your Derringer is probably not going to be effective at this range. Actually, Marie's, you with 15 yards,
15 yards.
it would be at like, you know, your
The max
most
range.
outer ranging. You would get some range penalties effectively, but you still miss anyway, so it's not
Yeah.
belabor the
And,
point.
and that was my thinking where I didn't go for the ones that were a little closer to Carmelita because I was thinking it was probably a little farther distance.
Okay. And none of them seem to have come up the stairs in the direction of the 3 of you. They seem to be focusing on Will and Carmelita currently. But Bev, you have an action still if there's something you want to do.
Yeah. I think maybe she's going to look and see if there's anything nearby that maybe she can try and provide some light by like starting a fire.
Give me a luck test to see if there's anything like vegetation or maybe some cloth from some of the heads or something like that.
3.
You know?
3. Extreme success.
Yeah. I'll say that there are like vines and growth like weaving up between the seams and over some of these columns up here. So you could possibly set a little bit of on fire. It wouldn't last forever, but
Yeah.
it would give you a little bit of time.
Yeah, she's thinking of like, if anything, just try and like cause some smoke and some fire to see if we can get Rick's assistance, like to notify we're at. Is
Mhm.
kind of the idea.
Okay. All right. Top of the round. first thing, Carmelita, you're running, you're racing, you're stumbling, and then you kind of like bumble into who you think is Sebastian, and you physically feel yourself slamming into somebody, and it's him, and you hear his voice. What like is he? He's local, right?
Yeah.
Like he was local in Mexico City, so he might be like, let's see, I haven't done an accent for a while, so let me see. Like, Carmelita, what is it? What is wrong? What is wrong?
Why are you here? Why are you here? Take cover me. I'm sick. And she's dragging him to wherever she can find cover.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Why am I here? I'm here because this is my parish. This is where my flock. I tend to them. What?
She's gonna look around. No, you're.
This is a holy place. This is not. No, you need to calm down. You cannot speak like this. This is a place of God. Like he's like you're tugging, and the two of you are just like tug of warring in the middle of this plaza.
Yeah, I think it's just arguments. Like we don't harp it out if you, but it's just she's convinced that she has to get him into cover, so she's trying to like physically pull him.
And you're pulling, and he's like, and he's not budging, and he's just like, no. You need to calm down. You are being, breathe. You are acting. Oh, what is wrong with you? Oh my God, you're hurt as well. And he's like, you're tugging on his arm, and he's just not moving whatsoever. Like you might as well be pulling on a giant stone column.
He's going to die, and I'm
okay
panicking, and I will hold up the gold cross because it was a gift from him, and the one that she always wears, and just like, Sebastian, please, you have to believe me. You have to believe me. Please, just come with me. Just come with me.
You need to calm down. You are listen, everything is fine. You are in a place of God. This is a place of God. There's no reason for you to be so upset.
It's
the stars, the sky is above us. God can see us. Calm yourself in front of him.
She's continuing to panic and try to pull him somewhere.
Sure. Okay. So then we're going to come to Will. What do you want to do?
He shot the guy. The bullet did not like flicker through him, and he heard a yelp of pain, which would embolden him to shoot him again.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Penalty die. Damn, I almost forgot.
I mean, if you get close enough to point blank, that cancels it out. Do you want to get close enough to point blank?
I want to shoot him first and then run closer.
That's how point blank works.
I want him to be dead before I run over him. Okay. Both dice were a 40, so it's 45 total. Do you get benefits for having a hard success with shooting? Only if they dodge,
no, it's
right?
got to be an extreme success. It's got to be an extreme success for impaling. Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. So I won't spend the luck then. So just the D10 damage. Okay, that's a 6 plus 2 is 8 points of damage.
Okay, and as you fire a second one in, you see the shield splinter, and this one hits them center mass, and he just goes flying back. He flickers briefly out of vision, and then back in again, as his back is now against the stone column, and he slowly slides down, leaving a streak of blood.
And I'd like to just run past his corpse if I can.
Okay, and so are you running in the direction of where like Carmelita went, or are you running in the direction of where
I still want to continue going to where we saw the tracks, and that's where I'm assuming that's the direction Rick Luke will be coming from. I'm trying to regroup with them, like meet them halfway.
You're effectively then kind of going in the direction Carmelita's going. It's kind of what's happening. Okay. Because there's basically just two directions of significance. There's up the stairs to where Marie and Bev are, back towards the plaza, because the other cardinal directions are effectively going into jungle, and you don't see any tracks taking you into jungle.
Happy coincidence then, because she wanted me shot, and she's going crazy anyways. So fine, but that's okay.
Marie,
I'm not salty.
You're next.
Marie So the last that Marie saw, there were 2 of these figures that were near the columns near where Will was. And so Marie would try to shoot at the other one to try to give Will a clean escape.
I would say, because you are very far away, you're far beyond 15 yards, you're going to be taking multiple penalty die on this shot to hit. Do you want to move down the stairs to try to close the distance, and so you can eliminate 1 or 2 of those penalty dice?
Yes, she would.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, the chances of you hitting are very small at this range with the kind of gun that you have. If you had like a rifle, we'd be talking about something different, but you're carrying just a basic handgun.
Would you say that Marie would have been able to see that Will kind of successfully seemed to have done something to this other one?
I'll roll over your spot hidden from last round.
Okay.
So you could see like he shot, and then now you see him kind of running vaguely in the same direction as Carmelita.
So I would say before Marie departs the top of the platform, she will, kind of do that whisper yell back to Dr. Key and Mr. Price. Will and Carmelita are both running. I'm going to try to clear some of these. And so Marie's going to try to go down the stairs a little bit and try to aim at one of them.
Okay. So I'll say, take your penalty die. We won't give you like a bunch more. We'll just say take 1. It's fine.
Okay.
No need to be too precise.
Damn it. I would have taken 2 audience just to be fair. But yeah, the penalty, I keep succeeding and then I have to roll the penalty and then I get in the 70s and it's fail.
You take a handful of steps down. You try to get a shot. You see the second of the 2 spearmen are certainly moving and like trying to cut Will off as he's running. And you try to shoot. You miss. And then the spearman flickers back into existence and then lunges at Will with his spear. All right, Will.
Is this something I can dodge or fight back?
Of course. What would you like to do?
Dodge.
Okay.
Do I have a penalty die on this?
I would say because it's melee, no. He's right on top of you, so that's fine.
55 over 52. I'll spend the 3 points. Puts me down to 10 luck total. So success. Plain.
For the first time, I rolled a good roll, as I rolled a hard success.
Oh, you jerk.
With my spear, finally. I'm sorry. Like you were saying it, I was going to stop you, but screw you. So yeah, I rolled a 12. So he is going to, as he steps in front of you, you see him flickering. And as he lunges with the spear almost looks like it turns this like spectral ghost. And right as it's the tip is about to hit your chest, in this like slow motion moment as you're dodging, it looks like it's just going to go through you once more. And then suddenly it flickers back and you feel the sudden puncture as the spear goes right into your ribs.
No,
this
Will.
will be...
Marie can see this happening because she was just firing.
Oh, I got a DB with this?
Uh-oh.
Kill him. He ain't got no health.
Uh-oh.
That is 7 points of damage.
Oh, no.
Oh.
How you doing, buddy?
That's a lot.
Because I got 4 points back from first aid, that puts me down to 1 HP. I was at 8.
Right in your ribs. Okay.
Ow.
We go
Is what Will says.
Down. Okay. That's what he says. Pastor Wood would have seen him coming. Bev. You see Marie move a handful of steps down the stairs. You see her fire. You see she fires at one that then moments later flickers and just lunges and stabs Will with this giant spear. What do you do, Bev? You are very far away at this point, but you can kind of see the basic contours of them from the moon. What do you want to do? Can't hear you there.
She kind of starts just frantically babbling to Patrick about because she was the one who read the book The Rise of Glaaki, the 12-book series. I think that's what it was called.
Revelations of Glaaki.
Yes, thank you. And how, because she's still kind of hung up on the flickering of in and out of almost existence, and she brings up about how they're very metaphysical in like their thing, and how it's just kind of like this area is wide open. And so her idea is that we need to hide from the sky, essentially, because that kind of aligns with like the original symbolism that we had found of like the eye, that the shard that Shyma had, to hide from the vision of being seen. And so but she also recognizes that everybody's in danger. So she's babbling this as she's dragging him along down, because her gun doesn't shoot very long, if he allows her to basically go shoot. But like once we get into a safe enough spot, that's kind of what she's thinking we need to do.
Okay. I would say if you want to dedicate your whole turn to just getting down the stairs, we can say that if that's what you would like to do. Otherwise, like again, your gun
I can't
is
shoot.
not
Yeah, so
useful in this
that's
situation.
my is getting down the stairs is essentially, because I know that Patrick like lifted up a rifle, but I don't want to like take that from Patrick because that doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So yeah.
I like the babbling of
Okay.
like we need to get it out of the sky so they can't see us, but we need to get closer. So we're gonna go that way.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what she's
we need to
saying.
get
She
everybody
grabbed
together.
Patrick's
Yeah.
hand. Yeah. Okay. Top of the round. We see Carmelita is tugging and pulling on Sebastian, who is fixed and will not move. And he's telling her to be calm. This is a place of God. This is not the kind of decorum that should be displayed in such a location. Carmelita, you swear he's going to get killed and you're trying to drag him away. But no matter how hard you try to pull, he does not move at all. Will, you just got impaled with a spear. It looks like the spear almost bends and then it flickers and suddenly you can move again and you can continue running, and you look ahead and you see there Carmelita is, and she is like, you see there's a figure there with a muted lantern, and you see a very confused looking Eduardo, one of the porters, the Mayan porters, and he is saying something to Carmelita in Spanish, and you can hear the words. Maybe you can't translate it in this crazy moment, but you can see he's saying something, and she's just like pulling on him, and he's just like,
and she's
trying to get her
holding
to
up her
calm down.
gold cross necklace, and like,
yeah,
it looks very panicked about something.
And when you look up behind him, you can see like rushing towards this moment. There's Rick Luke, and he's like, Billy, this way, and he's like, we found something, and then like he holds up a rifle, and like, get down, and he fires right in the direction of where you are and where this spear figure is.
Will is not above
Roll.
assuming the fetal position.
You're gonna drop to the ground.
He tells me to get down, I'll drop.
Okay, you drop to the ground. I will not take you my penalty die then on you being so next to him. Okay, that's a hit.
Nice.
He's got a fancy ass rifle because he is a rich Texan.
NPCs for the win.
Hell yes.
Backup character for the win. I put Rick.
Will could go
If Will
Texan,
dies, I'm gonna play
non-Texan,
Rick Luke.
Texan.
Using the
You
Pastor
don't
Wood
even
voice with the Will
really have
personality.
to
It's 11 points of damage. So
Ooh.
as he fires, I do have to roll one thing for the figure though. Okay, that's a fail. As he fires, Will, you can see like you were just able to drop. The spear came out of your body, not because you forced it out, but it seemed to just sort of lose its material sense. and it looked like this spectral blade and spearhead for a moment, which gave you a moment to take a couple steps forward. You see Carmelita. It's painful. You hear the sounds of like them screaming and gunshots coming from this way or that. Then you hear, Billy, get down, and you drop. Shot goes off, and then you hear like this splattering of like raining down of like debris, and you look back and you see that shield that he was carrying has just effectively exploded, and there's all these fragments of whatever the shield was made out of, probably wood, and then something stretched over top of it, and you can see these little pieces have essentially like embedded into this guy's forehead and chest and arms, and he kind of just goes stumbling back, and it looks like he's falling to the ground, but midway in the drop and then doesn't reappear. It's going to be Marie's turn. Marie, you've come down partially. You are looking in the direction. You hear the sounds of a gunshot. Give me a listen test to see if you were able to hear good old Rick Luke.
That is a success.
Okay, you hear the sounds of Rick Luke saying like Billy, get down, and then a fire, like the sound of a very loud like rifle shot, and you can see that in front of you, in the midst of the columns, there is that bowman still that is drawing back on the bow and is getting ready to fire either at Will maybe or at Carmelita, who you now see is illuminated about 100 yards from you, which is close enough for where the bowman is, but not necessarily for you, right? And you can see she's illuminated now by some kind of lantern. You can't make out who exactly she's talking to, but there's somebody there. Marie, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
So given the kind of change in kind of where I am, or if I were to do some movement, would I be able to shoot at the bowman without the penalty dice?
I would say that, I mean, like, you have a lantern on you. If you go down to if you just kind of like join Bev at the base of the stairs and fire, you're fine because you have a lantern.
Okay.
So you're good. There's enough light.
Would like to do that. I'm continuing to pull audience bits so that I can get myself to a 50-50 with the shooting.
So we just see this like this arcade of columns, and you're standing in the middle of it. Bev is next to you, babbling about getting out of the sky so it can't see you. Patrick, for once, isn't the crazy one. You pull your gun out. You see a bowman flicker into existence in front of you, and has an arrow trained on Carmelita 100 yards away, and you fire. She's gonna die unless you seek. Oh, geez, Carmelita, I'm sorry.
Though every other time I would have succeeded if not for the penalty die, and now this time I roll a 79.
Okay, over
50.
You want to spend 29 luck to make that a success and save Carmelita?
I don't have 29 luck. You knew that before you said that.
Man, after all the nice things Maitreyi said about you. Okay. You fire. It misses once more. You shoot another one of these columns. And you see like the stone just crack. Comes to Bev. Bev, you're down at the base of the stairs, babbling, gun in one hand, Patrick in the other. Marie's firing. What do you want to do, Bev?
I want to move to see if I can get in range enough to shoot.
I think that's totally possible. Yes, at this point, considering. So you just race through the arcade of columns. You're a handful of feet. You're maybe 10 feet behind him, which is just within your range. You get the Derringer out. You fire.
Okay, I'm going to take... I can take one. And then, so that I'm shooting for a 30. Or, yeah. And I pass.
Yay!
Because I have, if I'm shooting for 30 because I took one,
yep,
I succeed.
Hell yes.
You walk up. They're not even paying attention to you as they go to the pull back. The gun is maybe just a handful of feet behind their head, and you just... What's the damage?
Oh God. Your cash. I've never actually hit anything with this in a long time.
1d6.
Thank you.
Derringer is a small, tiny little gun that you can hide very easily, but doesn't do a ton of damage.
I did 1 damage.
Was that another snort? Was that our second snort of the session?
Stop!
It was. You fire the gun, and right And right as you pull the trigger, like literally a split second, they just disappear in front of you. I need both you and Marie to make a sanity test.
That's Fowler.
As you see a figure clearly in front of you, well illuminated by your lanterns, just completely and utterly vanish.
Hard
from sight.
success. My psycho babbling in my theory is kind of helping protect my brain.
What about you, Marie?
No, failed 53 over 50.
All right, only 2 for you, though. It's a D4.
Only 2.
Carmelita got all of that 4.
Okay.
We come back, Carmelita. You're being, this is round 5. So I'm gonna say, it's at this point as you're pulling and you're streaming, you realize, because you're tugging on the sleeve. The sleeve is not like this blackened, Padre's cloak, right? And you look and you see the confused and kind of terrified face of one of the porters, and he is like saying to you in Spanish, like, Miss Buñuel, are you all right? Calm down. You're making too much noise. Calm down. They will hear you. It will hear you. And he's like trying to calm you down.
I'm gonna release him and Sebastian Morales.
No, I am. No, Eduardo.
No, I know you're Eduardo, but where's Sebastian?
I do not know, Sebastian.
Why am I here? And she's looking around and says, not where she remembers being.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of this turn is just her, like, taking stock of where the hell she is.
Okay. Roll a D10.
Okay. Sorry, give me a half second. And
You're good.
D10. 3.
Okay. You're going to have underlying insanity for the next 3 hours. This means you're in a fragile state of mind. Any further loss of sanity points during this time results in another bout of madness.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Will, you look back. The body flickers and disappears as it's about to hit the ground, but it does not reappear. You hear the sounds of a gunshot. You look in the direction of the columns. You see the well-lit columns where Marie and Bev standing. The bowman flickers out of existence. You hear the just shouting of Rick, like, Billy, you okay? Everyone okay? Call out. And what do you do?
I'm hit bad. And I'm just staying there trying to assess my wound at that point. Like, if there's no one like within arm's reach and Rick Luke is there, my objective's achieved.
Yeah, you see a really bad spear wound, like just wrenching through your ribs right now, blood pouring out of it. And he races up and he kind of holds the rifle in one hand, kind of gets down. Damn it, Billy! Every time, man! I told you we shouldn't have split up, man.
Never been stabbed in the stomach so many times.
We're too exposed. Come on! And he calls out, Marie, Dr. Keith, come on! And he's like calling towards you.
They were on top of the temple.
Coming.
I know, man. I know. I can see him. Come on.
Yeah, and Bev's running. Like, she's dragging Patrick along with her.
Okay. Shoot you run. Join up. You see Will once more. Blood just all over. He's got this terrible... His face pale. Carmelita kind of looking out of it. Like her eyes darting this way and that. Pupils dilated. Confused. Eduardo is like talking to her saying like, who's Sebastian? You know, that sort of thing. And like as you get up, like Marie, your brain is kind of there. You did just lose 2 sanity though, but everything's a little bit crazy. And he's like motioning this way. And he leads you all down that northern path, that little narrow path between the jungle. And you get to you move down and it's maybe 50 yards or so. And what you see, first of all, there's like 2 porters there that are kind of like at the edge. One of them at the edge of what looks like this circular opening in the ground. This, I would say, Carmelita, you would know immediately what this is. It's a cenote, which is like this, like it's a cave. It's a fairly common thing in Central America and like these sort of Yucatan area in the jungles and such. And as you all approach, you can see that there's maybe about like 10 feet between the edge of this and the jungle, as the jungle is like just encroaching upon this relatively circular opening in the ground. And when you look over the edge, those of you who want to, you see about 25 feet down, hanging, and then there's stuff like hanging on other sides, like little vines and debris and stuff. You can see this beautiful green-blue water at the ground. And that's where we're going to go ahead and stop for tonight.
Oh my gosh. This place
Jeff,
is
you just keep trying
crazy.
to kill me.
You know what, man? Really don't think we should split up. Hey, let's split up. Do what I say.
Hey, he works for me. All right.
You literally just got shot 1,000 times in the jungle like 10 minutes ago. Let's split up. I'm sure we'll be fine.
I was telling Jeff before the session how long my injuries list is on Will, and now I'm going to
It's
add
so
even
long.
more to it.
Okay.
Oh,
So Carmelita's got indefinite insanity. She's finally got a taste of it. Will, more wounds. Bev is babbling to something in the sky. Marie, you just lost a couple sanity. When did Patrick become the sane and safe one? Nothing bad happened tonight.
That's
Isn't
because
that
he's
weird?
not here. you
I
know?
was gonna say
Who
the
knows?
only reason is that he's
Next level.
not here.
Smart. And that's why tonight's the last session of Adventures in Lollygagging. We're going to have everyone.
We're all
needs to
quitting,
realize
so we
if
don't
they
have to do
just
sand
don't
checks.
show up. We never have to do sand tests or lose any health or anything like that. So but that's it. We're all good. We'll pick up there next week, and that is a real thing. I can even show you. I think I have one. No, I don't have it loaded up. I'll show. I have a little picture of what I'll show you guys next week. But they're pretty awesome. They're pretty cool.
They look cool.
And,
Yeah.
I've been to
they're
a
very, very cool.
couple in real life, which is very,
Yeah.
very neat.
Yeah, there's all sorts of these like weird little like folkloric stories about them and stuff with like the underworld.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's do some closing plugs. We're going out of here. So Steven, let's listen. Let's sit back and listen to Maitreyi as she tells us where we can find her on the internet.
I am Mind Who Plays Games on YouTube, where I make system agnostic or multi-system tabletop content that centers the GM and player experience.
Fan freaking tastic. Steven, could you tell us about Huckleberry RPG?
You trying to direct me towards a specific game here? Is that it?
I'm trying to direct you towards the game that you have created. That is amazing. It's a Weird West action game. It looks a little bit like this.
Yeah, so it's a Weird West action horror game. It's Hellboy and Tombstone. Really, it promotes a lot of player agency, a lot of cool customization. It's coming to backer kit soon, October 7th, shockingly soon. So if you want a print copy, go to huckleberryrpg.com, click on the links to the backer kit, sign up for emails, and if you pledge on the first day, you're going to get a free dice tray. So, win-win.
Phenomenal, and the dice trays look really badass too. So you should definitely do what he said. As for stream schedule, next up is Monday, where we are playing We're in Danger, a game I have made. It is we're going to be punching volcanoes. So if you want to see what it looks like to punch a volcano, come hang out. If you're a big fan of Dante's Peak, which I know huge fan base, you should come hang out and watch. Tuesday, we've got some Hardwired Island as we were doing some cyberpunk millennial goodness. Thursday, I think we're off next week, but next Friday, we'll have our session 0 for our new Conan season of Hyborian Tales. We're going to be playing a different Conan rule set than we played last time. Last time we played the 2G20 system by Modifius. This time, we're playing the new game by Monolith, and we're going to see how that goes. And then next Saturday, we'll be back and playing more Call of Cthulhu in this horrible place where they're all going to die. But that's it for us. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
We'll be seeing you.
We'll be seeing you.
We'll
We'll
What
be
they said.
seeing you.
keep doing that. I have to set the outro video.
We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you.